My beloved child, stop for a moment. This is not just another message crossing your screen. This is a line being drawn in the spirit. I am speaking now because enough has been tolerated, enough hath been endured, and enough has been taken from you in silence. What you are about to hear is serious, not because I am angry, but because I am intervening. Stay with me. Do not rush. Do not look away. Listen all the way through, because every word carries weight meant specifically for you. This is a moment of clarity, a moment of separation, a moment where survival gives way to freedom. If you leave early, you may miss the very sentence your soul has been waiting for. Stay, my child, because what I am about to say will change how you walk forward from this day on. My child, listen to me now with the deepest part of your heart, not the part that has learned to cope, not the part that has learned to survive, but the part that still remembers what it feels like to hope. When I say enough, it is not a word spoken lightly, and it is not a word spoken in passing. It is a word that carries weight in heaven. It is a word that causes the unseen to shift and the spiritual atmosphere to change. For a long time, you have mistaken my patience for permission and my silence for distance. You have thought that because I did not interrupt immediately, I was absent, indifferent, or unconcerned. But hear me clearly now. Heaven has never been quiet about you. I have seen every moment you endured when you should not have had to. I have watched you push forward long after your strength was depleted. I have observed the way you learned to function while wounded, the way you learned to smile while bleeding internally, the way you convinced yourself that endurance was the same as obedience. And now, as your father, I step forward and speak with clarity, not because I am angry, but because the time for quiet restraint has passed. Enough is the sound of mercy standing up. It is the sound of love drawing a boundary. It is the moment when I say, this goes no further. You were never meant to prove your faith by suffering endlessly. You were never meant to normalize pain in the name of loyalty, patience, or spiritual maturity. I allowed the season to stretch because it was shaping you, but I will not allow it to consume you. Heaven is not silent right now. Heaven is attentive. Heaven is responding. Angels are not confused about this moment. They recognize the authority behind this word. When I say enough, it means something has reached its limit. It means what was permitted for growth is now forbidden to continue. It means I am intervening not after you collapse, but before. You may feel the seriousness of this word pressing against your chest, and that is because your spirit recognizes truth before your mind can explain it. This is not drama. This is not exaggeration. This is the moment where divine patience gives way to divine action. I am not waiting for you to become stronger. I am stepping in because you have already been strong enough. And my child, I need you to understand this with tenderness and precision. When I say enough, I am not condemning what you endured, and I am not chaining you for staying as long as you did. I know why you stayed. I know the promises you were holding on to. I know the prayers you whispered, believing things would change if you just held on a little longer. I know the fear that told you walking away would mean failure, that letting go would mean you lacked faith, that drawing a boundary would mean you gave up too soon. I saw how you reasoned with yourself in the quiet moments, how you justified what hurt you because you did not want your suffering to be meaningless. But hear me now, and let this truth settle gently into your soul. Endurance does not give meaning to what I never ordain. Perseverance does not sanctify what is destroying you. I am not the God who demands endless sacrifice just to prove loyalty. I am the Father who knows when something has extracted enough from my child. Heaven has been watching the toll this season has taken on you. The sleepless nights, the constant tension, The lake of disappointment you stopped talking about because it became too familiar. I am saying enough because the cost has become too high, and I refuse to let you confuse survival with my will any longer. This word is serious because your life is serious to me. Your future is serious to me. Your peace is serious to me. I am not raising my voice to frighten you. I am steadying it so you will finally listen. Enough is not the end of my care, it is the beginning of my defense. From this moment forward, I am no longer asking you to endure what I am prepared to remove. Heaven is not silent now because heaven is moving. And as your father, I am standing between you and what has gone on long enough, saying with authority and love, this ends here. My child, I need you to hear this slowly, deeply, and without the filter of fear that has formed from past wounds. What you are sensing from me right now is not anger. It is not disappointment. It is not frustration boiling over. It is intervention. There is a vast difference between wrath and rescue, and too many of my children confuse the two because human love has taught them that raised voices mean rejection. But I am not human, and my love does not break the way human love does. When I intervene, it is not because you have failed. It is because you matter too much to be left in harm's way. Think of it this way. A surgeon does not cut because he hates the patient. He cuts because leaving the infection would cost the life. My firmness is not fueled by irritation. It is fueled by protection. I have watched the infection spread quietly in areas of your life you tried to manage with prayer alone, patience alone, silence alone. You told yourself, if I just stay humble, if I just stay quiet, if I just endure, God will fix it. And I did fix what endurance was meant to fix. But now endurance has crossed into erosion. What once built your character is now eroding your joy, your peace, your sense of self. And so I step in, not with clenched fists but with steady hands. Intervention always feels abrupt to the one being rescued because they have learned to live inside the danger. You grew accustomed to the pressure, the instability, the emotional whiplash, the spiritual confusion. You adapted. You adjusted. You normalized what should have alarmed you. And now that I am disrupting it, part of you wonders, why now? Why this force? Why this seriousness? Because you were about to call something fatal normal, and I refuse to let that become your story. This is not anger erupting. This is love interrupting. This is me stepping between you and the edge before you even realized how close you were standing. And my child, I must say this plainly because your heart needs clarity, not mystery. If I were angry with you, I would have withdrawn my presence, not intensified my voice. Silence is not always peace, and loudness is not always rage. Sometimes urgency is simply love refusing to whisper when whispering is no longer enough. I have watched you reason yourself into staying too long, forgiving too fast, absorbing too much, explaining away what kept wounding you. You kept telling yourself, God understands, and you were right. I do understand. I understand so well that I will not let you continue down a path that ends in collapse. Intervention is love that refuses to wait until disaster proves its point. I did not wait until you lost everything. I did not wait until bitterness settled permanently in your spirit. I did not wait until your faith turned brittle from exhaustion. I stepped in now, while there is still tenderness in you, while there is still a spark that responds when I speak. That is mercy. That is timing. That is a father who knows the exact moment when help must become unmistakable. I am not scolding you. I am shielding you. I am not expressing disappointment. I am expressing determination. Determination that you will not be another soul who confuses suffering with holiness. Determination that you will not keep paying for what I already declared enough. My intervention may feel disruptive, even frightening, because it interrupts what you have learned to survive. But survival was never the goal. Life was. Abundance was. Peace with it. And when I intervene, it is because I am restoring alignment, not expressing anger. Let this truth anchor you now. Everything I am stopping is something that was slowly stealing from you, and everything I am doing is aimed at giving you back to yourself. So breathe here, my child. Let the tension ease just a little. You do not need to brace yourself against me. You do not need to defend your past choices. I am not here to interrogate you. I am here to extract you. This is intervention, not accusation. Rescue, not rage. And once you understand that, you will stop resisting the very hand that came to save you. My child, there is something I have been waiting for you to hear, because until you do, you will keep mistaking exhaustion for humility and heaviness for responsibility. I have watched you carry weights that were never assigned to you. Not because you were chosen to suffer more than others, not because you were stronger than everyone else, but because you were willing. Willingness, when unguarded, becomes a doorway through which burdens quietly enter and never leave. You said yes too often. You stayed silent too long. You took responsibility for outcomes you could not control and emotions that were not yours to manage. You carried guilt that did not belong to you, pressure that was never placed on you by me, expectations that were born from other people's wounds, not my will. And because you loved deeply, you convinced yourself that love meant carrying it all. But hear me now. Love does not require self-erasure. Compassion does not demand self-destruction. I never asked you to be the savior in situations where I alone was meant to be God. I saw the moment when the load shifted from healthy responsibility to harmful overextension. I saw when helping turned into absorbing, when supporting turned into sacrificing your own breath, your own clarity, your own peace. You did not notice the shift because it happened gradually. Weight always does. It never announces itself. It settles. And by the time you realized how heavy it had become, you had already adjusted your posture to survive it. But survival posture is not kingdom posture. You were never meant to walk bent over by obligations I never placed on your shoulders. And my child, let me speak into the part of you that feels exposed by this truth. You may be thinking, but if I don't carry it, who will? That question reveals how deeply you have been operating outside of my design. I never called you to replace me. I never You were not meant to be the emotional anchor for everyone else while your own heart drifted unattended. I watched you take on blame to keep peace. I watched you swallow frustration to avoid conflict. I watched you explain away hurtful behavior because you understood the other person's pain. Understanding someone's pain does not mean inheriting it. You thought carrying it made you noble. In truth, it made you tired. Tired in ways sleep cannot fix. Tired in your spirit. Tired in your joy. Tired in your hope. And I let you carry it for a time. Not because I wanted you crushed, but because you needed to see how quickly love turns into bondage when boundaries are absent. You were faithful, yes, but faithfulness to me never includes abandoning yourself. That is not sacrifice, that is misalignment. And now I am stepping in to remove what you have been dragging behind you, what has slowed your walk, dulled your laughter, and blurred your vision. You are not failing by putting it down. You are obeying. So let me say this with tenderness and authority. I am not impressed by how much you can carry if it is killing you. I am not honored by your collapse. I am not glorified by your burnout. I am your father, and I have watched you stagger under a weight that was never yours, And I am saying, give it back. Give me the guilt. Give me the responsibility. Give me the outcomes you cannot control. Give me the emotional labor you were never meant to perform. When you release it, you will feel exposed at first, lighter but uncertain, because weight becomes familiar even when it is harmful. But that lightness is not emptiness. It is freedom returning to your body, your mind, your soul. You are not selfish for laying it down. You are finally aligned. And as you do, you will discover something holy and healing. When you stop carrying what was never yours, you finally have the strength to carry what truly is. My child, there is a wound that has lingered quietly in you, one you rarely speak about because it is easier to endure than to explain. It is the wound of believing I was absent when you needed me most. The long pauses, the unanswered prayers, the stretches of time where you cried out and heard nothing but your own echo. You wondered if I had stepped back, if I had grown tired of your asking, if your prayers had somehow disqualified themselves by repetition or weakness. But listen to me now, and let this truth move slowly through you like medicine. My silence was never abandonment. It was containment. There are moments when a father must be quiet not because he does not care, but because he is restraining things the child cannot yet see. You measured my presence by noise, by visible movement, by immediate relief. But heaven does not always move loudly. Sometimes my greatest acts of protection happen in stillness. I was not absent when doors stayed closed. I was not distant when answers delayed. I was holding back what would have destroyed you if it had reached you too soon. Silence, in my hands, is not emptiness. It is strategy. It is patience layered with protection. It is wisdom refusing to rush what could not yet be sustained. I know the silence made you question yourself. I know it made you replay your prayers, wondering if you had said the wrong words, believed with insufficient faith, or waited too passively. But the silence was not a verdict on your worth. It was a shield over your future. I was not ignoring you. I was guarding you. And my child, I need to say this gently but firmly. The enemy tried to interpret my silence for you. He whispered that quiet meant distance, that delay meant disinterest, that stillness meant you were forgotten. And because you were already tired, because your heart was already carrying too much, those whispers found space to settle. You began to tell yourself stories that were never written in heaven. Stories that said you were alone. Stories that said you were overlooked. Stories that said you had to figure it out yourself because God had gone quiet. But hear me now. Every moment you thought you were navigating alone, my presence was closer than you realized. I was standing between you and outcomes you could not survive. I was redirecting conversations, delaying decisions, softening blows you never knew were coming. I was shaping your endurance, not by overwhelming you with signs, but by strengthening your inner compass. Silence taught you discernment. Silence taught you how to sit with unanswered questions without abandoning your faith. Silence stripped away the illusion that comfort is proof of obedience. And now, as I speak again, as my voice rises with clarity, I need you to reframe those quiet seasons, not as neglect, but as guardianship. I was why because I was busy protecting. I was still because I was holding things in place. And now that the danger has passed, now that the lesson has settled, now that you can carry what is coming without being crushed by it, my voice returns, not softer, but clearer. The silence did its work, and it did not cost you my presence for a single moment. So let the shame dissolve. Let the self-blame loosen its grip. You did not fail because you questioned me in the quiet. Even prophets questioned me in the silence. What mattered was that you stayed. You did not run. You did not harden your heart completely. You waited, even when waiting hurt. And now you are hearing me again. Not because you finally did something right, but because the season that required silence has fulfilled its purpose. I was never gone. I was preparing the ground beneath your feet so that when I spoke again, you would not be swept away by what followed. My child, there is a holy shift taking place right now, and I want you to feel it, not with anxiety, not with anticipation that tightens your chest, but with peace that steadies your breath. The delay has reached its end, not because time has finally run out, but because the purpose of waiting hath been completed. There is a difference between a delay that refines and a delay that drains. For a long while, the waiting strengthened you. It taught you patience. It deepened your trust. It stripped away illusions and taught you to listen more closely. But waiting is only holy when it is productive. When waiting begins to hollow you out, when it turns hope into heaviness and faith into fatigue, it is no longer a tool. I never designed waiting to become a prison. I watched carefully as the season stretched. I measured it precisely. And now I say this with authority and compassion. What the delay was meant to accomplish, it has accomplished. The waiting has done its work. You are not behind. You are not late. You did not miss the window. The window was never open until now. Heaven does not rush timelines, but neither does it prolong them unnecessarily. The delay is ending because you are ready, not perfect, not fearless, but ready. Ready to walk without second-guessing every step. Ready to receive without bracing for loss. Ready to move without dragging yesterday behind you. And my child, I know delay has a way of distorting perception. You watched others move ahead while you stood still. You saw doors open for them while yours remained shut. You wondered why effort seemed unrewarded, why faith seemed invisible, why consistency did not produce immediate fruit. Delay whispered lies that said you were overlooked, forgotten, or somehow less favored. But hear me clearly now. Delay never meant denial. It meant development. I was building root systems you could not see. I was strengthening internal structures that would one day hold great weight. If I had moved you sooner, the blessing would have broken you instead of blessing you. If I had answered earlier, the outcome would have collapsed under pressure you were not yet equipped to manage. I was not withholding from you. I was preparing you. But preparation has a limit. Refinement has a finish line. And you have crossed it. The season where waiting taught you is complete. From here forward, waiting would only wound you, and I do not wound my children to prove a point. I transition them. I release them. I move them forward. So feel this moment for what it is, not a sudden miracle falling from the sky, but a door unlocking quietly because the timing is finally aligned. You may not see everything change at once, but movement has begun. Stagnation has lost its authority. The internal clock has shifted. What once required immense effort will soon feel lighter, more natural, more fluid. This is not because resistance has vanished, but because grace has increased. The delay has ended, and with it ends the season of wondering if you misunderstood me. You did not. You heard correctly. You waited faithfully. And now, as your father, I say it is time. Time to step forward without apology. Time to release the posture of waiting. Time to trust that the ground will hold you as you move. A delay did not defeat you. It prepared you. And now, my child, we walk forward, together. My child, there is a quiet danger in adaptation, and you have lived inside it longer than you realize. Humans are remarkably capable of adjusting to almost anything, even pain, even dysfunction, even slow erosion of joy. You adapted not because it was healthy, but because you had no choice at the time. You normalized what once shocked you. You learned to function in atmospheres that suffocated you. You told yourself, "This is just how it is," not because it was true, but because resistance felt more exhausting than acceptance. And while you adjusted, while you learned the rhythms of survival, I watched carefully. I watched the way your shoulders stayed tense even when you rested. I watched how laughter became quieter, how hope became cautious, how expectation lowered its voice so disappointment would hurt less. You didn't notice the shift because it happened gradually. Normalization is subtle. It never announces itself. It seeps. What once felt unbearable slowly became familiar, and familiarity convinced you it was acceptable. But hear me now, with clarity and authority. What you normalized was never meant to be permanent. I am interrupting it because normalization does not equal my approval. Just because you learned how to live with it does not mean you were meant to. I am disrupting the pattern not to unsettle you, but to wake you. Love interrupts what harm disguises as normal. Grace interrupts what endurance made tolerable. And right now, I am stepping into the flow of your life and saying, "Stop. This is not your portion." And my child, I know interruption feels threatening when you have finally learned how to cope. Even chaos can feel safe once it becomes predictable. Even pain can feel familiar enough to navigate. You build systems around your wounds. You developed emotional muscle memory to avoid triggers, manage reactions, keep peace, stay functional. You learn when to speak and when to stay silent. You learned how much of yourself to reveal and how much to hide. These adaptations kept you alive, but they were never meant to define you. I am interrupting them because coping is not the same as healing. Surviving is not the same as living. You were not created to merely endure days. You were created to inhabit them with freedom. And now that the season of endurance has ended, the coping mechanisms that once protected you are becoming cages. I am breaking the rhythm because if I don't, you will call captivity comfort and limitation wisdom. I will not let you settle for a life that fits your wounds instead of my promises. This interruption may feel abrupt. It may feel destabilizing. You may feel exposed without the habits that helped you manage pain. But this disruption is surgical, not destructive. I am not tearing down your life. I am removing what no longer belongs. I am not shaming you for adapting. I am inviting you to unlearn what you no longer need. When I interrupt what you've normalized, it is because your nervous system learned fear where peace was meant to reign, and I am retraining it through truth. So do not panic when the familiar no longer fits. Do not cling to patterns just because they are known. Discomfort is not always danger. Sometimes it is freedom arriving before your emotions have caught up. Let the interruption do its work. Let the old normal dissolve. What replaces it will feel strange at first, quieter perhaps, less dramatic, less heavy. Peace often feels boring to those who lived in chaos, but boredom is not emptiness. It is safety. I am reintroducing you to safety. I am teaching your soul a new baseline, and that requires interruption. This is me saying, you don't have to live like this anymore. This is me breaking the agreement you unknowingly made with pain. This is me restoring your sense of what normal was always supposed to be. My child, listen carefully now, because this is where clarity must replace confusion. What I am establishing in your life right now is not a recommendation. It is not a gentle nudge. It is not a preference. It is a boundary, divine, deliberate, and unmovable. Boundaries are misunderstood by those who were taught that love means limitless access. You were taught that saying no was selfish, that drawing lines was unkind, that obedience meant endless availability. But I am the God of order, not obligation. I am the Father who protects his children, not the taskmaster who exhausts them. When I draw a boundary, it is not to restrict your life, it is to preserve it. This boundary is not up for negotiation because what crossed it was slowly destroying you. You tried to manage it with wisdom. You tried to soften it with grace. You tried to redeem it with patience. But some things are not healed through tolerance, they are healed through distance. I am not asking you if you are ready for this boundary. I am telling you it is necessary. A surgeon does not ask permission of the infection before removing it. A father does not debate with danger when his child is at risk. This boundary is my protection made visible. It is my authority exercised on your behalf. And my child, I know part of you resists this because boundaries expose truths you were avoiding. They reveal where love was one-sided. They reveal where responsibility was unequal. They reveal where you were giving more than was ever returned. Boundaries force honesty, and honesty can feel brutal before it feels freeing. You may worry about how others will respond. You may fear being misunderstood, labeled, or rejected. But hear me clearly, obedience to me will always cost you something, but disobedience will cost you far more. This boundary is not punishment for anyone. It is alignment for you. You are not responsible for how others interpret what I have commanded. You are responsible for obeying it. When I say enough, I am not opening a discussion. I am closing a door. You do not need to explain it. You do not need to justify it. You do not need to defend it. Divine boundaries do not require human validation. They require trust. Trust that I see what you cannot. Trust that I know what will happen if this line is crossed again. Trust that what I am preventing is more dangerous than what you are releasing. So stand firm, my child, not in anger, not in pride, but in quiet authority. You are not being hurt, you are being obedient. You are not withdrawing love. You are placing it where it can survive. This boundary will feel uncomfortable at first because it contradicts old training. But discomfort is temporary. Alignment is lasting. When you hold this line, peace will follow. Clarity will follow. Strength will rise where exhaustion once lived. You are not wrong for honoring what I have declared. You are not cruel for protecting what I am restoring. This is my suggestion. This is me, your Father, standing beside you and saying, I will not let this cross into your life again. And when heaven draws a boundary, hell loses access. Remember that. Hold to it. And move forward knowing you are not alone. I am enforcing this boundary with you. My child, there are things in your life that have remained not because they were life-giving, but because you learned how to survive their presence. You called it patience. You called it grace. You called it being mature, understanding, spiritual. But I call it draining. I have watched the slow leak, the quiet depletion, the way joy trickled out while responsibility flooded in. Drainage is dangerous because it rarely feels dramatic. It is not a sudden collapse. It is a gradual emptying. Day by day, conversation by conversation, decision by decision. You did not notice it at first because you are generous by nature. You give easily. You pour willingly. You offer space, forgiveness, access. But generosity without boundaries becomes extraction, and I will no longer allow extraction to masquerade as love in your life. What drains you is not neutral. What drains you is not harmless. What drains you is taking something you cannot afford to lose. I have seen how you finish interactions feeling smaller than when you began. I have seen how certain environments leave you tense, how certain relationships require recovery time you never used to need. I have seen how your spirit braces before engagement and exhales only when it ends. That is not peace. That is depletion. And as your father, I am saying clearly now, I will not let what drains you remain simply because you are capable of enduring it. And my child, I need you to hear this without guilt attaching itself to the truth. Removing what drains you is not selfish. It is stewardship. You are responsible not just for what you give, but for what you preserve. I did not design you to be a well with no bottom. I designed you to be a river, flowing, replenished, alive. Rivers that are endlessly diverted eventually run dry. And you have been dangerously close to dry, even while appearing functional. That is why I am intervening. That is why I am enforcing boundaries you struggled to maintain on your own. I am not asking you to analyze what drains you anymore. I am acting. I am removing. I am closing access. Some drains will end through distance, some through confrontation, some through circumstances shifting beyond your control. But make no mistake, the removal is intentional. You tried to manage it with wisdom. You tried to balance it with effort. You tried to compensate with prayer alone. But some drains do not respond to management. They respond only to removal. This is not cruelty. It is clarity. This is me saying your energy, your peace, your emotional capacity are not infinite resources to be exploited. They are sacred trusts to be protected. So let go of the instinct to justify why something had to go. You do not owe an explanation for obedience. When something leaves your life because it drains you, it leaves under my authority, not your emotion. You are not abandoning responsibility. You are relinquishing misuse. And as what drains you is removed, you will notice something subtle but powerful. Strength will return without effort. Joy will reappear without striving. Peace will settle not because everything is perfect, but because nothing is siphoning you anymore. This is not loss. This is relief. This is not subtraction. This is restoration. I will no longer allow what drains you to stay, because I am not just saving you from exhaustion. I am making room for life. My child, as I remove what drains you, I also invite you into what restores others. What you sow in this moment becomes oil in another's lamp, light in another's night, strength in a soul that is barely standing. I am the God who said, "Give, and it shall be given unto you." And I am speaking that word alive, right now, to you. If this message has preserved your peace, then help me preserve another. This is not pressure. This is partnership. When you give through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the video description, you are placing seed into my hand, and I never waste seed. I multiply what is offered in obedience, and I guard what is entrusted in faith. Act now. Release what I prompt you to release, and watch me restore more than you expected. My child, there is a cost you paid that few ever saw, and even fewer acknowledged. It was not loud. It was not visible. It did not earn applause or sympathy. It was paid in silence. Silence when you wanted to speak. Silence when you needed help. Silence when explaining would have taken more energy than you had left. You learned to suffer quietly because it felt safer than being misunderstood. You learned to process alone because disappointment taught you not everyone could hold your truth with care. I saw it all. I saw the swallowed words, the unanswered questions, the prayers whispered so softly they barely left your lips. I saw you choose restraint over release, composure over confession. You carried pain with dignity, but dignity does not erase damage. Silence can be holy, but it can also be heavy. And you carried that weight faithfully, thinking perhaps that unseen suffering was more acceptable, more spiritual, more manageable. But hear me now. I saw the cost. Every time you chose quiet over honesty, it cost you something. Every time you minimized your pain to keep peace, it extracted a toll. Every time you told yourself, "It's fine, I'll handle it," another layer of fatigue settled into your soul. Silence kept things from escalating, but it also kept you from being cared for. And I have not ignored that cost. I have recorded it. And my child, I want you to understand this with tenderness. Your silence did not make you weak. It made you resilient. But resilience is not meant to be permanent housing. It is meant to be a bridge. You crossed the bridge. You survived the season. But now I am calling you out of survival mode. You no longer need to prove strength through quiet endurance. I am not asking you to stay silent anymore. I am asking you to be honest. With me first, and then, where it is safe, with others. I saw the nights when silence echoed louder than words. I saw how you replayed conversations in your mind, editing what you wished you had said. I saw how you carried regret not because you were wrong, but because you were unheard. And I am saying now, the season that required silence is over. You do not have to protect others at the expense of yourself anymore. You do not have to absorb discomfort just to keep relationships intact. You do not have to carry pain quietly to be loved by me. I never asked you to bleed invisibly. I never asked you to disappear behind politeness. Silence was a coping mechanism, not a calling. So let this truth settle deeply. I honor the cost you paid, but I will not require you to keep paying it. You do not need to earn relief through continued restraint. I am restoring your voice, not to create chaos, not to wound others, but to heal you. Your story does not dishonor me. Your truth does not threaten me. Your honesty does not disqualify you. I saw the cost you paid in silence, and now I am repaying you with freedom. Freedom to speak when silence once felt safer. Freedom to rest where you once endured. Freedom to be seen where you once hid. This is not exposure. It is release. And as your father, I tell you this with certainty. Every quiet tear mattered. Every unspoken prayer reached me, and none of the cost you paid will be wasted. I am redeeming it now. My child, I want to begin this truth by honoring you, not correcting you. You were faithful. You showed up when it would have been easier to disappear. You stayed committed when quitting would have cost you less. You prayed when your words felt dry. You believed when evidence was thin, and you held on when your hands were trembling. Heaven does not overlook that. I do not minimize that. I have recorded every act of faithfulness you offered in secret, every choice to do what was right even when it hurt. But hear me now, because this truth must be held with both reverence and honesty. Faithfulness does not cancel wounds. Obedience does not make you immune to injury. Loyalty does not protect you from pain. You were faithful, and you were also wounded. And the danger is not in being wounded. The danger is in spiritualizing your wounds so deeply that you stop acknowledging them. You learn to say, "I'm fine," because faith told you not to complain. You learn to push through because commitment taught you endurance. You learn to minimize pain because devotion told you sacrifice was holy. But sacrifice that bleeds endlessly is not worship, it is neglect. I never asked you to bleed quietly to prove belief. I never asked you to confuse suffering with righteousness. I saw the wound form even as you remained faithful, and I waited patiently for the moment when you would be ready to let me tend to it. And my child, I need to say this gently because shame has tried to attach itself to your healing. You may feel conflicted admitting you were hurt, as if acknowledging pain somehow diminishes your faith. But truth does not dishonor me. Denial does. Healing does not negate obedience, it completes it. You were faithful in the storm, but storms still leave damage behind. You stood strong, but strength does not erase impact. Even soldiers return wounded from battles they did not lose. You did not fail because you were hurt. You were hurt because you stayed. And now, the season of standing guard has ended. You are no longer required to remain in armor. Armor protects during battle, but it restricts movement in times of peace. I am asking you to lay it down, not because you are weak, but because you are safe with me now. I see where you hardened to survive. I see where you numbed emotions to keep functioning. I see where you spiritualized pain instead of processing it because stopping felt dangerous. But I am not calling you back into the fight. I am calling you into restoration. Faithfulness brought you through. Healing will bring you back to life. So let me tend to what obedience could not prevent. Let me touch the places where loyalty cost you more than you expected. Let me separate your identity from your endurance. You are not only the one who survives, you are the one who is loved. You are not only the one who stays, you are the one who is cherished. You are not only the one who believes, you are the one who is held. Being faithful was never meant to cost you your wholeness. And now, as your father, I say this with clarity and compassion. You do not need to remain wounded to remain faithful. Healing is not betrayal. Healing is agreement with my original design for you. My child, there is a quiet fear that has held you longer than the pain itself, the fear of letting go. You were not only afraid of losing what hurt you, you were afraid of what would happen if it left. You feared the emptiness, the silence, the unknown that would follow release. Pain became familiar. Struggle became predictable. Even disappointment had a rhythm you learned to navigate. Letting go felt like stepping into darkness without a map. So you held on, not because it was good, but because it was known. And I understand that fear. I saw how you told yourself, at least I know what this is. You feared that releasing it would unravel you, that you would lose part of yourself along with it, that the pain had become so intertwined with your identity that separation felt dangerous. But hear me now, and let this truth settle slowly. What you were afraid to release was already costing you more than you realized. Fear disguised itself as wisdom. Attachment disguised itself as responsibility. But the longer you held on, the more it took from you. And now I am ending it. Not abruptly, not cruelly, but decisively. Because if you had let it go on your own, fear would have dragged it back. So I am stepping in to do what love sometimes must do, and what you could not release without breaking. And my child, I need you to know this. Release does not mean loss the way you think it does. What I am ending is not taking life from you. It is returning it. You were afraid that letting go would collapse you, but holding on with the slow collapse. You were afraid the ground would disappear beneath you, but the truth is the ground was never stable while this remained. You were bracing yourself constantly, managing reactions, anticipating impact, preparing for disappointment. That is not living, that is surviving. And survival has kept you alive long enough. Now it is time to live. I am ending what you feared releasing because fear does not get to choose your future. I do. And I would rather you grieve briefly than suffer endlessly. I would rather you face the unfamiliar than remain imprisoned by the familiar. I would rather you trust me into uncertainty than cling to what is draining you simply because it is known. So when this ends, and it will, you may feel disoriented for a moment. That is normal. Release creates space, and space feels strange when you have been crowded by pain for so long. But do not rush to fill it. Let the emptiness breathe. Let the silence speak. What comes next will not wound you the way the last thing did. I am not leaving you exposed. I am making room. Room for peace that does not demand endurance. Room for relationships that do not require self-erasure. Room for joy that does not come with consequences. You were afraid to release because you thought letting go meant losing yourself. In truth, letting go is how you get yourself back. And as your father, I promise you this: what I am ending will not be missed once you feel what replaces it. My child, there comes a moment in every life when continuation becomes disobedience. A moment when staying is no longer faith, but fear wearing spiritual language. That moment has arrived for you. This is the moment of separation, not because I am tearing something away violently, but because alignment requires distinction. Separation is not abandonment, it is clarification. I am separating you from what you kept trying to redeem with your own strength. I am separating you from cycles that thrived on your tolerance. I am separating you from environments that survived because you kept shrinking yourself to fit inside them. And I know this moment feels heavy because separation always does. It feels final. It feels irreversible. It feels like standing between what was familiar and what is still unknown. But hear me clearly now: nothing that truly belongs to you will be lost in this separation. Only what attached itself without my permission will fall away. You are not being stripped. You are being unburdened. I am not scattering your life. I am reordering it. Separation is holy when it is initiated by me. It is how light is distinguished from darkness. It is how growth is protected from contamination. It is how destiny is preserved from dilution. And my child, I know part of you still wrestles here. You wonder if separation makes you harsh, unkind, unloving. You fear that stepping away will be misunderstood, that distance will be interpreted as rejection, that clarity will feel like cruelty to those who benefited from your closeness. But obedience is not measured by how comfortable others feel. It is measured by how aligned you are with my voice. I did not ask you to rescue everyone. I did not assign you to remain everywhere. Some connections were seasonal, not permanent. Some roles were transitional, not eternal. And because you are loyal by nature, you stayed beyond the season. You remained beyond the assignment. You hoped longevity would create transformation. But transformation requires willingness from both sides, and I will not ask you to keep pouring into places that refuse to change while draining your spirit. The separation is not punishment, it is precision. It is me saying, this can no longer walk with you where I am taking you. And where I am taking you requires freedom, clarity, and peace you cannot maintain while constantly negotiating your worth. So let the separation happen without trauma, without self-defense, without over-explanation. You do not need to convince anyone of what I have already confirmed. You do not need to argue with what is ending. Separation does not require debate. It requires courage. And courage, my child, is something you already possess. You just used it for too long to stay instead of to leave. Now you will use that same courage to step forward. And when you look back one day, you will not remember this moment as loss. You will remember it as the turning point where your life finally began to breathe. My child, I want you to listen carefully here, because restoration rarely looks the way pain imagines it will. You thought what you lost was gone forever. You mourned quietly, assuming certain parts of you had been permanently damaged. Your innocence, your joy, your openness, your ability to trust without bracing for impact. You told yourself, that version of me is gone, and you learned how to function without it. But hear me now with tenderness and authority. Nothing the enemy touched was allowed to be destroyed. Some things were hidden. Some things were preserved. Some things were waiting. I am not restoring you to who you were before the pain. I am restoring you to who you were always meant to become. Loss does not have the final word over a life I am overseeing. Damage does not outrank my design. What you thought was not taken, it was guarded. I shielded parts of you so they would not be further harmed while you endured what you had to endure. And now, As the season shifts, I am bringing those parts back into the light. And my child, restoration does not arrive all at once like a sudden miracle. It unfolds like dawn. Slowly, gently, almost imperceptibly at first. You will notice it in how you laugh again without guilt, in how you rest without anxiety, and how your body no longer braces when peace settles in. You will feel curiosity return where numbness once lived. Hope will reappear without you forcing it. Trust will grow, not recklessly, not blindly, but wisely. Restoration does not erase memory. It redeems meaning. You will remember what hurt you, but it will no longer control you. You will recall what you lost, but it will no longer define you. I am not giving you back fragility. I am giving you back strength wrapped in softness. You will love again without losing yourself. You will hope again without ignoring wisdom. You will dream again without fear of disappointment ruling every expectation. This is restoration with discernment, not naivety. Healing with depth, not denial. So do not rush this process. Let restoration rise at its own pace. Let joy return without suspicion. Let peace settle without questioning whether it will last. You do not need to guard against happiness anymore. You do not need to prepare for collapse. I am not restoring you temporarily. I am restoring you deeply. What I return to you now will be rooted, stable, and protected. And one day you will look at your life and realize that what you thought was lost became the very ground on which new life grew. That is my way. I do not waste pain. I transform it. I do not merely return what was taken. I multiply what was preserved. And this, my child, is only the beginning of what restoration truly means. My child, there is a season when you must learn how to stand, and there is a season when you must learn how to step aside so I can. You have spent far too long defending yourself, your heart, your intentions, your faith, your decisions. You explained when silence would have preserved you. You justified when clarity would have freed you. You fought battles in your mind that were never yours to fight. And I watched you do it because I was teaching you discernment, strengthening your spine, showing you where your limits truly were. But hear me now, with authority and relief woven together, that season has ended. I am defending you now. This is not a metaphor. This is not encouragement language. This is a shift in spiritual posture. Step back. Lower your fists. Unclench your jaw. You do not need to argue your worth anymore. You do not need to prove your purity, your loyalty, your sincerity. When I defend you, accusations lose oxygen. Lies collapse under their own weight. Manipulation exposes itself without you saying a word. You were never meant to be both the wounded and the warrior at the same time. I am taking the role you carried out of necessity and assuming it by authority. And my child, let me explain what divine defense actually looks like, because it does not resemble human retaliation. When I defend you, I do not escalate chaos. I silence it. I do not shout over your accusers. I dismantle their credibility. I do not require you to revisit old wounds to justify your decisions. I close mouths without you opening yours. I reorder narratives without you correcting them. I have watched how certain people thrived on your explanations, how they fed on your need to be understood. I am removing the dynamic. Silence under my protection is not weakness, it is power. When I defend you, I remove the platform from those who misrepresented you. I allow truth to surface naturally, without force, without defense, without exhaustion. This is why I told you to stop explaining yourself. This is why I told you to walk away quietly. I was not abandoning you to misunderstanding. I was positioning you for vindication, that would not require your participation. Some battles are won not by engagement, but by withdrawal under my covering. So let go of the urge to clarify. Release the need to be seen accurately by everyone. When I defend you, those who matter will understand, and those who don't were never meant to walk with you forward. You do not need universal approval. You need divine covering. I am standing between you and what once overwhelmed you. I am intercepting what would have wounded you again. I am speaking on your behalf in places you cannot enter. And I am doing it now, not later, not eventually, now. Rest in this. You are no longer the one on trial. I have taken the case, and I do not lose. My child, I know the pressure nearly convinced you that you were failing. It felt relentless, unyielding, heavy in ways you could not articulate. You wondered if you were breaking, if something was wrong with you because everything felt so hard for so long. But hear me now, and let this truth settle into the places that still ache. The pressure was not meant to crush you. It was meant to clarify you. Pressure reveals what is essential and what is excess. It strips away illusion. It exposes what cannot endure weight. And while you felt as though you were collapsing under it, something far more important was happening. You were being refined, not punished, not tested for my amusement. Refined. Pressure is not cruelty in my hands. It is precision. I allowed it not to destroy you, but to remove what could not follow you into what comes next. The reason you survived what others did not is not because you were tougher. It is because I was present. You bent, but you did not break. You ached, but you did not disappear. You questioned, but you did not abandon me. That is not weakness. That is resilience born from grace. And my child, pressure always lies. It tells you that relief will never come, that this is your new normal, that you must learn to live under constant strain. But pressure has a purpose, and purposes have limits. You reach that limit. What the pressure was meant to expose, it exposed. What it was meant to remove, it removed. What it was meant to strengthen, it strengthened. You do not need to remain under it to prove anything further. Staying would not make you holier. It would only make you wounded. I am lifting the weight now not because you asked perfectly, but because the work is done. And as the pressure releases, you may feel strange, lighter, yes, but unfamiliar with ease. That is normal. You have been braced for impact for so long that peace feels suspicious. But peace is not the absence of readiness, it is the presence of safety. I am teaching your nervous system, your spirit, your heart how to live without constant strain. So do not interpret the pressure as evidence that you were weak. Interpret it as proof that you were being shaped. Diamonds are not formed by comfort. But diamonds are not kept under pressure forever either. At some point, the pressure must lift so the beauty can be seen. That moment is now. You are not emerging empty, you are emerging defined. Clearer, stronger, lighter. The pressure did not crush you, my child. It completed its assignment. And now I am releasing you into the next season, not to be tested again, but to be revealed. My child, I speak now with a gravity you can feel because this moment carries weight. This is not a rebuke, and it is not a threat. It is a warning born of care. There is a point where endurance stops being strength and starts becoming self-destruction. There is a line where patience turns into prolonged harm. You are nearing that line. Not because you are weak, but because you are human. I watched as you stretched yourself thinner, telling yourself you could hold on a little longer, absorb a little more, endure one more cycle. You told yourself collapse would only happen to others, that you could manage the strain if you stayed disciplined, prayerful, careful. But collapse does not announce itself loudly. It whispers first. It shows up as numbness, as chronic fatigue, as joy quietly exiting the room, as your body bracing even when nothing is wrong. I am speaking now because I refuse to let collapse be your teacher. Some lessons are too costly to learn the hard way. So I intervene before breakdown becomes your language. This is not condemnation. It is mercy with urgency. Enough warnings have already been ignored by others in your past. I will not be another voice you look back on and say, I should have listened. And my child, I need you to understand why this warning matters so much. Collapse does not only affect you, it alters everything connected to you. It distorts how you love, how you trust, how you hear me. When the soul collapses, discernment dulls. When the heart collapses, hope shrinks. When the body collapses, faith feels heavy instead of life-giving. I will not allow you to reach that place and call it spiritual growth. That is why my tone has sharpened, not with anger, but with clarity. Urgency is not cruelty. It is precision. I am raising my voice now because whispers would no longer reach you through the noise of survival. You have been operating at a level of strain that cannot be sustained indefinitely, and I love you too much to let you prove how strong you are by breaking. This warning is not about what you have done wrong. It is about what will happen if nothing changes. And I am the God who changes things before destruction has its way. So hear me now and let this settle deeply. Stopping now is wisdom, not failure. Stepping back now is obedience, not retreat. Letting go now is life, not loss. You are not disappointing me by choosing health over harm. You are honoring me. This is the last warning before collapse, not because I am impatient, but because I am attentive. I see where this path leads if it continues unchanged, and I am redirecting you while there is still strength in your legs and breath in your lungs. Listen to me. Choose differently now, so you do not have to rebuild later. This is mercy speaking loudly so disaster never has to speak at all. My child, I warned you because I love you, and now I send you because others are still standing at the edge. What you have just heard is not meant to stop with you. It is fire meant to spread, manna meant to be shared before morning comes. I am the God who says, today, if you hear my voice, do not harden your heart, and this moment is a divine appointment. Your giving becomes a bridge for souls who cannot yet hear me clearly. Through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the video description, you help carry this warning as mercy, not collapse. I bless the hands that respond quickly, and I protect the lives that move in obedience. Do not delay, act now, and let your seed speak life where breakdown was waiting. My child, beneath all the layers of responsibility, survival, endurance, and expectation, there is still you. Not the version shaped by pressure, not the version sculpted by pain, not the version that learned how to be acceptable, useful, or strong for others. The real you, the one I formed before the world taught you how to hide. And I am calling you back to that self now. Not backward into naivety, but forward into wholeness. You lost pieces of yourself slowly, so slowly you hardly noticed. A little joy set aside to keep peace. A little honesty muted to avoid conflict. A little rest postponed because others needed you. None of this happened because you were careless. It happened because you cared. But caring without boundaries leads to self-abandonment, and I never asked you to abandon yourself to prove love. So now I call you back. Back to your voice. Back to your needs. Back to your desires. Back to the parts of you that learned to go quiet just to survive. And my child, coming back to yourself may feel unfamiliar at first. You have spent so long orienting your life around others' expectations that listening inward feels strange, even selfish. But it is not selfish to return to what I created. It is obedience. I am not asking you to become someone new. I am restoring who you were before exhaustion redefined you. You are allowed to want again. You are allowed to feel again. You are allowed to choose again without fear that every choice will cost you love. I am dismantling the false belief that your value comes from how much you can carry. Your value comes from being mine. Full stop. And as you return to yourself, you will notice strength returning, not the frantic strength of survival, but the quiet strength of alignment. You will sense clarity where confusion once lived, confidence where doubt used to echo. This is not arrogance. It is identity healing. So come back, my child. Come back from overextension. Come back from self-erasure. Come back from living as a role instead of a person. I am not calling you to isolate or withdraw from love. I am calling you to re-enter life as a whole person, not a fragmented one. The world does not need a version of you that is constantly depleted. It needs the version of you that is alive. And I am making that possible now. As your father, I say this with joy and certainty. You are allowed to be you again. I have been waiting right here, holding space, until you were ready to return. My child, I want to dismantle a lie that has quietly governed your choices for far too long. You were taught, by circumstance, by expectation, by unspoken rules, that needing change meant you lacked strength. That if you were truly resilient, truly faithful, truly mature, you would simply endure without protest and adapt without complaint. So when the ache grew louder, when your spirit began to signal that something needed to shift, you silenced it. You told yourself to push harder, pray longer, explain less. You convinced yourself that needing change was a flaw instead of a signal. But hear me now with clarity and compassion braided together. You are not weak for needing change. You are wise. Weakness avoids truth. Wisdom responds to it. Strength is not measured by how long you can suffer, but by how honestly you can listen when something inside you says, "This cannot continue." Change is not betrayal of endurance. It is the fruit of discernment. You endured long enough to learn what no longer belongs. You stayed long enough to see clearly. And now your spirit is asking for movement not because you failed, but because you grew. And my child, I know this truth challenges old definitions you lived by. You were praised for being strong, reliable, and unshakable. You became the one who didn't break it, didn't complain, didn't need much. That identity brought affirmation, but it also brought isolation. People leaned on you without asking how heavy the load was becoming. They assumed your silence meant capacity, your composure meant consent. And because you didn't want to disappoint, you kept carrying what was crying you. But strength that never changes direction eventually becomes stubbornness, and stubbornness slowly turns into harm. I'm calling you into a new definition of strength, one that includes listening, adjusting, releasing, and receiving. You are not dishonoring your past endurance by choosing change now. You are honoring what that endurance taught you. Change does not erase your testimony, it completes it. You learned. You stayed. You discerned. Now you move. So let go of the shame that whispers you should have been able to handle more. That voice is not mine. I do not measure your worth by your tolerance for pain. I measure it by your alignment with truth. And the truth is this: needing change is not weakness. It is responsiveness. It means your heart is alive. It means your discernment is awake. It means you are no longer numbing yourself just to survive. You are not fragile because you reached your limit. You are faithful because you honored it. And as you step into change, you will discover something powerful. Strength does not diminish when you pivot. It deepens. Flexibility is not failure. Adaptation is not surrender. Change, when guided by me, is courage in motion. My child, there is a fear that lingers at the edge of every ending, the fear that what hurt you will somehow return. You have ended things before, only to see patterns repeat. You walked away, but the weight followed. You changed environments, but the ache remained. And so you learned to hesitate, wondering if endings truly meant freedom or just temporary relief. But hear me now, and let this truth settle with authority. What ends now will not follow you. This ending is different because it is not powered by your will alone. It is sealed by my word. There are endings you initiate, and there are endings I enforce. This is the latter. When I end a season, I do not leave doors unlocked behind you. I do not allow cycles to trail you like shadows. I close. I seal. I complete. The reason certain things followed you before is because they were never fully finished. They were paused, avoided, postponed, but not ended. This time, it is finished. And my child, understand this. What follows you is determined by what you agree with internally. In the past, fear, guilt, and obligation kept certain doors spiritually open. You walked away physically, but you carried the agreement that said, this might come back. Now I am breaking that agreement. You are not just leaving circumstances. You are leaving permissions. You are not just ending relationships. You are ending patterns. You are not just closing chapters. You are closing access points. When I say it will not follow you, I mean the hooks are being removed. The emotional tethers are being cut. The spiritual residue is being cleansed. You are not dragging this season into the next one. You are crossing over lighter, clearer, freer. So do not look back expecting pursuit. Do not brace for return. Do not prepare for relapse. When doubt whispers, what if it comes back? Answer with truth, it cannot cross what God has closed. This ending carries authority because it was initiated by me. You did not just decide, you obeyed. And obedience carries protection. From this point forward, your life will no longer be interrupted by what I have dismissed. You will still grow. You will still learn. But you will not be haunted by what I have ended. This is not temporary relief. This is permanent release. Walk forward without fear. Nothing behind you has permission to follow. My child, there are conclusions you reached in pain that felt irreversible. You look at certain ending, certain love, certain disappointments, and you told yourself, that's it. The door is closed forever. That part of my life is over. That version of me is gone. You didn't arrive at those conclusions lightly. You arrived there after trying, after praying, after hoping, after waiting longer than you ever wanted to. And because the pain lasted so long, finality felt logical. It felt protective. It felt safer to believe nothing more could change than to risk hope again. But hear me now, and let this truth gently dismantle the heaviness you've been carrying. I am rewriting what you thought was final. Finality belongs to me, not to pain. Conclusions made in exhaustion are not verdicts written in heaven. I allowed certain chapters to close, yes, but not because the story ended. Because the narrative needed revision. What you called the end was often just a boundary I was drawing so something truer could begin. And my child, rewriting does not mean erasing. I am not pretending what happened didn't matter. I am not minimizing the grief you felt when things ended in ways you didn't choose. I saw how you mourned privately. I saw how you accepted loss outwardly while still wrestling inwardly. I saw how you told yourself, This is just how life is now, and learn to live smaller so the ache wouldn't feel so sharp. But rewriting means I take what you thought was over and give it new meaning, new placement, new outcome. It means what once looked like failure becomes foundation. What once felt like rejection becomes redirection. What once appeared wasted becomes necessary preparation. I am not returning you to old situations. I am restoring the truth that those situations tried to steal from you. You will not relive the pain, but you will reclaim the parts of yourself you buried because you thought they could never thrive again. So let go of the belief that your best days were behind you. That belief did not come from me. I do not bring my children this far just to leave them managing disappointment. When I rewrite, I do so with intention. I bring clarity where confusion once ruled. I bring opportunity where resignation once settled. I bring life where you assumed only memory remained. And you will know I have rewritten the story not because everything suddenly looks perfect, but because hope no longer feels dangerous. You will notice it in the way you plan again without bracing for loss, in the way you dream without apologizing to yourself, in the way you move forward without constantly looking back to see if the ground is about to disappear. What you thought was final was never final to me. It was only unfinished. My child, survival has been your language for a long time. You learned how to stay alert, how to anticipate problems, how to prepare for impact even on good days. Your body learned tension. Your mind learned vigilance. Your heart learned caution. Survival kept you alive, and I honor that. But survival was never meant to be your permanent state. You were not created to live braced, guarded, exhausted by constant readiness. And now I say this with certainty and care. Peace is about to replace survival. Not the fragile peace that depends on everything going right, but the deep peace that remains even when life is imperfect. The kind of peace that does not require constant monitoring. The kind that lets you rest without guilt. The kind that allows joy to arrive without suspicion. Survival taught you how to endure storms. Peace will teach you how to live after them. And my child, peace may feel unfamiliar at first. You might mistake it for emptiness. You might feel restless when nothing is demanding your attention. You might catch yourself waiting for something to go wrong simply because that is what you've known. That does not mean peace is false. It means your system is learning a new rhythm. Survival kept you sharp. Peace will make you soft again. And softness is not weakness. It is safety restored. You will no longer need to scan rooms emotionally. You will no longer need to calculate your words to avoid conflict. You will no longer need to overfunction just to feel secure. Peace will do what effort never could. It will settle you from the inside out. Your breathing will change. Your sleep will deepen. Your reactions will slow. Not because you don't care, but because you are no longer under threat. So do not resist this transition. Do not rush to fill the quiet. Let peace teach you how to exist without constant pressure. You are not becoming careless. You are becoming whole. You are not lowering standards. You are raising your quality of life. Survival served its purpose. It carried you through what once threatened to overwhelm you. But now that threat has passed, and I am not calling you back into battle. I am calling you home. Home to rest. Home to presence. Home to a life where love does not require armor and joy does not come with consequences. Peace is not something you must earn next. It is something I am giving you now. My child, when I say I am serious, I am not saying I am distant. I am not saying I am cold. I am not saying I am disappointed. I am saying I am attentive in a way that does not allow casualness where destiny is involved. I am serious because your life carries weight. Your days are not filler. Your breath is not accidental. Your story is not expendable. You have treated yourself as replaceable for too long, as if the world would simply adjust if you were diminished, delayed, or depleted. But heaven does not see you that way. Heaven has never treated you as optional. I speak with seriousness now because there are moments where tenderness alone would not protect you. There are moments where gentleness must be accompanied by firmness, where reassurance must be paired with direction. This is one of those moments. You are standing at a junction where small decisions will produce large consequences, and I refuse to speak lightly when your future is at stake. I am serious because you matter more than you realize, and because what is coming next in your life requires you whole, present, and alive, not merely surviving. And my child, let me say this clearly. I am not intensifying my voice because you are in trouble. I am intensifying my voice because you are valuable. People shout warnings when something precious is at risk, not when it is disposable. You shout when a child runs toward danger, not when a leaf blows across the road. You raise your voice when love senses urgency. That is what you are hearing now. Love that refuses to be casual with what is sacred. You have underestimated the impact of your presence. You have minimized your influence because you were busy enduring. But your life touches more than you see. Your healing affects more than you know. Your obedience in this moment will ripple further than you can imagine. That is why I am serious. Not because I am burdening you with pressure, but because I am awakening you to worth. The enemy has tried to convince you that if you burn out, someone else will take your place. But heaven does not replace souls the way systems replace workers. There is no substitute for you. There is no alternate version that carries your exact imprint, your exact calling, your exact assignment. So do not interpret my seriousness as severity. Interpret it as sacredness. I am protecting something irreplaceable. I am guarding something intentional. I am intervening because delay would cost too much. When I say enough, when I draw boundaries, when I end seasons, when I redirect paths, it is because I see the full picture of your life, not just the chapter you are currently in. And I refuse to let something precious be treated carelessly, even by the one who carries it. Your life is precious to me. That is why I speak the way I do. That is why I will not soften truth to keep things comfortable. And that is why you can trust this seriousness. It is love that knows the value of what it is protecting. My child, there are many moments in a life, but only a few turning points. This is one of them. A turning point is not always loud. It does not always arrive with fireworks or instant change. Often, it comes quietly, through a decision, a realization, a moment of clarity where something inside you finally aligns. You feel it now, even if you cannot fully explain it. Something has shifted. Something has settled. Something has resolved itself deep within you. This is not emotion alone. It is alignment. A turning point is when the inner posture changes before the outer circumstances do. When you stop arguing with truth. When you stop negotiating with what I have already made clear. When you stop asking, should I? And begin saying, I will. That is what is happening now. You are not just hearing words, you are crossing a threshold. And thresholds always feel quiet right before they change everything. And my child, what makes this a turning point is not that everything around you has suddenly transformed, but that you have. You are no longer asking permission to honor your limits. You are no longer confusing endurance with obedience. You are no longer waiting for pain to justify change. Something in you has agreed with me, and agreement is powerful. Agreement breaks cycles. Agreement ends delays. Agreement opens doors that effort could never force. From this point forward, you will not move the same way. You will not tolerate the same things. You will not abandon yourself the way you once did. Not because you are hardened, but because you are clear. Turning points are born when clarity replaces confusion. And clarity has arrived. You may still feel tenderness. You may still feel grief for what is ending. But you will not feel lost. Direction has settled in you like an anchor. To mark this moment, even if no one else sees it, heaven sees it. This is where the narrative changes. This is where patterns lose authority. This is where the old version of you, defined by survival, overextension, and quiet endurance, steps aside, and a new way of living begins. Not louder, not harsher, but truer. This is your turning point, not because you finally did everything right, but because you finally listened and responded. And I tell you this with certainty and peace. You will look back on this moment and recognize it as the place where your life began to move in a new direction, not away from me, but deeper into alignment with who you were always meant to be. My child, one of the last chains to fall is guilt, and it is often the hardest one to release. You can leave the situation and the season, close the door, and still feel its grip if guilt is allowed to follow you. Guilt whispers that you should have stayed longer, tried harder, explained more, endured silently, sacrificed further. It disguises itself as humility, as kindness, as spiritual maturity. But guilt is not conviction, and it is not love. Conviction draws you toward life. Guilt keeps you bound to death long after the threat has passed. I am calling you now to walk away without guilt, not because what happened did not matter, but because it no longer has authority over you. You are not walking away carelessly. You are walking away obediently. And obedience never requires guilt as its companion. Guilt is not proof of love. It is often proof of misplaced responsibility. You took ownership for things that were never yours to fix, never yours to carry, never yours to redeem alone. And now, as you step forward, guilt tries one last time to pull you back, not with force, but with familiarity. But hear me now, guilt does not get to narrate your obedience. And my child, I know why guilt feels convincing. You are empathetic. You feel deeply. You consider impact. You worry about how others will feel when you choose yourself, when you choose alignment, when you choose health. You have spent years prioritizing peace for others, even when it cost you your own. So when I tell you to walk away without guilt, I am not dismissing your compassion, I am reordering it. Compassion that destroys the self is not holy, it is unsustainable. You do not honor me by staying where I have clearly said enough. You do not prove love by continuing to bleed quietly. You do not demonstrate faith by ignoring my instruction just to avoid discomfort. Guilt tells you that leaving makes you selfish. Truth tells you that leaving makes you obedient. And obedience is not something you need to apologize for. When I close a chapter, I do not expect you to mourn it forever. When I end a season, I do not require lifelong penance. I invite you into freedom. So release the urge to over-explain. Release the need to justify. Release the reflex to carry emotional weight that no longer belongs to you. You do not need to keep revisiting what I have already resolved. Walk away clean. Walk away clean. Walk away knowing that you are not abandoning love. You are responding to it. Guilt has no jurisdiction where obedience reigns. And as you walk forward without it, you will feel lighter than you ever thought possible. Not because you stopped caring, but because you finally stopped carrying what was never yours to begin with. My child, I want these final words to settle into you like a vow, like a covenant, like something written not just in memory but in spirit. Hear me clearly now, without fear, without distortion, without the echoes of old voices interfering. When I said enough, I meant it. When I drew the line, I sealed it. When I intervened, I committed myself to your protection, your restoration, your future. Nothing that tried to hold you has the authority to reclaim you. Nothing that wounded you has permission to define you. Nothing that exhausted you is allowed to follow you into what comes next. This is not temporary relief. This is not emotional momentum. This is divine resolution. I have spoken, and my word does not return empty. You are not standing in uncertainty. You are standing in completion. What I have ended is ended. What I have released you from is finished. And what I am bringing you into is already prepared. And my child, as your father, I want you to remember this moment not as something dramatic, but as something decisive. This is where you learn to trust my voice over your fear. This is where you stop negotiating with pain. This is where you chose alignment over familiarity. You did not get here by accident. Every step, every delay, every lesson, every wound led to this clarity. And now, as you move forward, do not second guess what I have made plain. Do not reopen what I have closed. Do not doubt what I have confirmed. You are not imagining this shift. You are not overreacting. You are not being dramatic. You are responding to truth at the exact moment it was meant to land. Heaven is not confused about what is happening in your life. Heaven is aligned. So hear me clearly, my child, and carry this with you. You are free, not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer bound. You're safe, not because nothing will ever challenge you, but because you will never face it alone again. You are moving forward, not in fear, not in guilt, not in survival, but in clarity, peace, and authority. This is the end of this message, but it is the beginning of a new way of living. And I will be with you in every step that follows, just as I have been in every step that led you here. My child, now that you are free, help me reach those who are still bound. What I have completed in you, I desire to begin in others through this message. I am the Lord of the harvest, and I tell you now, the field is ready. When you give, you are not funding a message, you are fueling transformation, releasing rivers where drought once ruled. Your seed through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the video description becomes provision, protection, and momentum for my word to run swiftly. I bless what you release, and I multiply it back with favor, clarity, and peace. This is not the end, it is expansion. Act now, obey my prompting, and help me carry this word where it must go next. My beloved child, do not let this moment pass in silence. If this word reached you, if you felt me draw the line and say enough, then seal it with your voice. Comment enough means freedom, or I walk away without guilt, not for others, but as a declaration before heaven. Your words matter, because what you declare, you align with. This is serious, and this is sacred. Mark the moment, and step forward knowing I have heard you. And once you have spoken it, do not rush past what you have just set in motion. Stand in the stillness for a moment, because freedom does not begin with noise, it begins with awareness. You have drawn a line in faith, and heaven has acknowledged it. Now quiet your thoughts and steady your heart, because when you choose release, I draw nearer still. This is not the end of the moment. It is the beginning of my voice becoming clearer to you. My child, listen to my voice right now, and let everything else fade into the background. I am stepping into your room, into your car, into the very space where you are breathing, to tell you something that will change everything. I have watched you struggle for long enough. I have seen you wake up with that heavy knot of dread in your stomach, wondering if today will just be another repeat of yesterday's battles. You have been patient. You have been weary. You have wondered in the quiet, dark hours of the night if I had forgotten the promises I made to you. But I am here to tell you that I have seen every tear that hit your pillow, and I have heard every silent plea you were too exhausted to even put into words. Your season of waiting is ending right now because I, your Creator, have looked at your circumstances and I have declared, enough is enough. Pause for a moment and breathe in my presence. Do you feel the shift? The air around you is changing because my sovereign timing has finally met your persistent faith. You see, I am not a God who is distant or unaware of your deadlines, your bills, or the people who have been making your life difficult. I have a calendar that governs the stars, and your name is written across this very hour. Understand the weight of what I am saying to you. When I decide it is time to act, no door can stay locked and no enemy can stand in the way. I am moving from being your silent comforter to being your fierce protector. This is the moment my patience turns into protective action on your behalf. I am intervening because I love you too much to let you be crushed by the weight of a trial that has served its purpose. Recognize this shift right now. You are moving from a season of trial to a season of triumph. Think about the pressure you've been under, the job that drains you, the health concerns that keep you on edge, the family tensions that never seem to resolve. I allowed those dry places to shape you, but I never intended for you to die there. Look at your life through my eyes and see that the wind is changing direction. I have chosen this specific hour to intervene because you are ready to handle the blessing I am about to pour out. If I had given it sooner, you might not have valued the strength you gained in the struggle. But now, you are tempered like steel. You are ready. Hear the finality of my word as I speak over your life. When I say enough, the shadows must retreat. When I say victory, the defeat you've been carrying must fall away. My word does not return to me empty. It is a hammer that breaks the rocks of your opposition. I am setting the stage for a miraculous turnaround that will leave you breathless. You won't have to manipulate people or climb over others to get what you need. I am the one who promotes. I am the one who provides. I am the one who restores. Accept my invitation to let go of the survival mode you've been living in. You have been bracing yourself for the next blow for so long that you don't know how to relax. Command your heart to be still. Invite my peace to flood your mind. I am clearing the path before you. Every obstacle that looked like a mountain is being leveled into a plain. I am silencing the critics and I am providing the resources you thought were lost forever. This isn't just a motivational thought. This is a divine decree. I am personally involved in your story, and I am writing a new chapter starting today. Believe me when I say that your breakthrough is not coming. It is here. Your God has spoken, and my word is the final authority. My child, I want you to look back at the history of your family, but do not look with eyes of shame. Look with the eyes of a pioneer who is about to change the entire map. I have seen the patterns that have bound your bloodline for years, the same financial struggles that plagued your father, the same anxiety that kept your mother awake, and the same spirit of lack that seems to follow every generation like a shadow. You have felt like you were running a race with weights tied to your ankles, wondering why it feels so much harder for you than it does for everyone else. I am here to tell you that those invisible weights are not yours to carry anymore. I am identifying every pattern of addiction, every cycle of divorce, every habit of self-sabotage, and every recurring sickness that has claimed a seat at your family table. I see the unspoken things, the secrets and the silence that have kept your people in bondage. Command those cycles to stop at your doorstep today. I am moving with my sovereign power to sever every spiritual link to the past that is not of me. You are not a product of your ancestors' mistakes. You are a product of my intentional design. I am taking the scissors of my spirit and cutting the cords of just enough that have kept your family in a state of survival for decades. Why should you settle for crumbs when I have built a storehouse with your name on it? I am replacing that legacy of lack with a heritage of abundance. I am shifting the atmosphere of your home from one of "we can't afford it" to "my God provides." I want you to walk through your house right now and invite my presence into every room. Open the windows and let the stale air of old struggles blow away. You must understand the legal authority I have given you. The blood of the Lamb is more powerful than any bloodline, curse, or generational trauma. My blood speaks a better word over you than your DNA does. I have cleared your record in the courts of heaven, and I am issuing a decree of not guilty and debt-free over your life. This is not just a nice thought. It is a spiritual reality. The enemy likes to use your family history as a weapon to make you feel disqualified. But I am telling you that you are my chosen instrument to break the mold. I have empowered you to be the one who changes the trajectory of your children and your children's children. Walk into your new identity as a pioneer of freedom. Stand tall and square your shoulders, for you are no longer a slave to what happened 20 years ago. You are the one who will teach your family how to live in peace. You are the one who will show them what a healthy relationship looks like. You are the one who will break the back of poverty through your obedience and my favor. Do you feel the lightness in your spirit as you realize the enemy no longer has a claim on your future? He may have had a grip on the past, but his hands are slipping. He is losing his hold because you are aligning your yes with my "I will." I promise you, the chains that felt like iron are turning into dust. I am opening doors that your parents never even knew existed. I am giving you insights and strategies that will leapfrog you over years of struggle. You are stepping into a territory of firsts, the first to be truly free, the first to be stable, the first to be completely whole. Do not fear the newness of this season. I am with you, guiding your steps and ensuring that the ground beneath you is solid. Your future is bright, clean, and completely disconnected from the darkness of what used to be. My beloved, I want to talk to you about the noise. I hear the whispers that attack you when the lights go out and the world gets quiet. I hear the voice that tells you that you're a failure, that you've made too many mistakes, and that you will never really change. That voice, the accuser, had been lying to you for far too long, and I have come today to silence it once and for all. I am rebuking every lie that has tried to take root in your heart. I see how those words have made you feel small, how they've stolen your confidence and made you want to hide. But I am your shield, and I am stepping between you and those poisonous arrows. Command those voices to be silent in my name. They have no right to speak to a child of the Most High. I am dismantling the platform of your enemies, both the people who speak against you and the spiritual forces that try to tear you down. Have you noticed how some people seem to take pleasure in your stumbles? I see them too. But I am the one who handles your reputation. I am placing a divine gag order on the lips of those who spread rumors and malice. They will find that their words no longer have the power to hurt you. Their schemes will fall flat because I am covering you with my favor as with a shield. Rest your heart in my unchanging truth. When the world says you are not enough, I say you are fearfully and wonderfully made. When the enemy reminds you of your past, I remind him of his future. I am restoring your confidence, not in your own strength, but in my love for you. Do you remember when you felt bold? Do you remember when you believed you could do anything? I am bringing that fire back. I am scrubbing away the grime of shame that has dimmed your light. You are my masterpiece, and I do not make mistakes. Find peace in the stillness of my presence. I want you to practice sitting with me without saying a word. Just listen to the rhythm of my grace. Do you hear the silence? That is where the accuser cannot go. In my presence, there is only love, only acceptance, and only the truth of who I created you to be. Your reputation is safe in my hands. I am the one who vindicates. You don't need to defend yourself or stay up all night rehearsing arguments in your head. Let those go. I am your lawyer, your judge, and your father. I have already won the case. I am giving you a sound mind today. I am clearing out the mental clutter and the what-ifs that keep you in a state of panic. Breathe out the anxiety and breathe in my peace. I am setting a guard over your thoughts. Whenever a lie enters your mind, I want you to immediately replace it with my promise. I am for you, so who can really be against you? You are walking into a season of mental clarity and spiritual authority. The voices of the past are fading, and my voice, the voice of your shepherd, is becoming the only one that matters. My child, you have been wandering in a dry place for a long time. I know the dust has settled in your throat, and the heat has made you weary. You have looked at the horizon day after day, wondering if the landscape would ever change. I want you to know that the wilderness was not a punishment, it was a preparation. I needed you in that quiet, isolated place so I could strip away the things that would have hindered you in the promised land. In the desert, you learned how to hear my whisper when everything else was gone. You learned that I am your only source. Those dry places were necessary for your growth, but I am here to declare that your time of wandering has officially concluded. Command your soul to get ready to move. The pillars of cloud and fire are shifting. I am declaring that the borders of your wilderness have been reached. You are not going to die in this desert. You are not going to be a permanent resident of not enough or almost there. I am preparing your heart to cross the threshold into the abundance I have kept in reserve for you. Can you smell the rain? Can you feel the shift in the spiritual atmosphere? The air is getting heavier with my glory and lighter with the absence of your old burdens. It is time to leave behind the manna. Manna was my provision for your survival, but I have milk and honey waiting for your thriving. Survival was for the wilderness. Success is for the land I am giving you. Stop looking for just enough to get through the day and start looking for the overflow that I promised. I am teaching you how to live in a new economy, one where the math doesn't make sense but the results are undeniable. Trust my guidance as I lead you out of the shadows. The path may look unfamiliar because you've been in the dark for so long, but my word is a lamp to your feet. Invite the Holy Spirit to show you the signs of the new season. Look for the small miracles, the unexpected phone calls, the sudden peace, the doors that seem to be unlatching on their own. These are not coincidences, they are road signs. I am orchestrating your exit from the desert with the same precision I used to bring the Israelites through the Red Sea. You won't have to fight for this exit, you just have to follow me. Walk with your head held high. The wilderness did not break you, it made you. It gave you a story that will help others who are still lost in their own deserts. I am removing the widow's garment and the slave's chains from your spirit. I am dressing you for a feast. Do not be afraid of the giants in the new land. They may look big, but they are bread for you. I have already defeated them. Your only job is to step over the line and take possession of what I have given you. This is the end of the dry season. The fountains are about to break open, and the rivers are about to flow in your wasteland. Welcome to your new beginning. My precious one, I have seen the years that felt like a total loss. I have seen the locusts that came and devoured your hard work, your health, your time, and your joy. I know there are seasons you look back on with a heavy heart, thinking, I will never get the time back, or I will never recover from that loss. I am here as the God of restoration to tell you that you are wrong. I do not just give back, I pay back with interest. My promise to you today is that I will restore the years that were stolen. I am going to make the rest of your life so beautiful that the painful parts will feel like a distant, faded memory. Command your heart to believe in supernatural multiplication. I am not limited by the laws of time or the rules of man. I can do more in 1 year of my favor than you could do in 20 years of your own striving. I am multiplying your resources and your opportunities. I am bringing back the joy that the world tried to steal from you through heartbreak and disappointment. Do you remember how it felt to laugh without a weight on your chest? I am bringing that laughter back. I am healing the deep, jagged wounds of past betrayals and the sting of what could have been. Invite me into the broken places of your relationships. I see the rifts in your family and the friends who walked away when things got tough. I am the great physician, and I am stitching back together what the enemy tried to tear apart. Where there was bitterness, I am pouring in the oil of forgiveness. Where there was distance, I am creating a bridge of understanding. You will see my hand in the restoration of things you thought were dead and buried. I am a specialist in resurrections. Look at the ashes of your sacrifice. You have given up so much to follow me, and you have stayed faithful even when it cost you everything. I have not forgotten. I am creating beauty from those ashes. The very things that tried to destroy you are becoming the fuel for your testimony. I am turning your test into a triumph. I am paying you back for every hidden sorrow, for every night you cried yourself to sleep, and for every time you were treated unfairly but chose to stay kind. Your reward is not just in heaven. I am bringing a portion of it to your doorstep right now. Trust me with your lost time. You might feel like you are behind, like you missed your window, or like you're too old to start over. I am the creator of time. I can accelerate your progress so fast that you will find yourself standing where you dreamed of being years ago. I am giving you a double portion for your trouble. Receive this restoration with open arms. Don't try to figure out the how, just focus on the who. I am the Lord your God, and I am making all things new in your life. My child, do not turn away now, for we are standing at the very threshold of your transformation. It would grieve my heart to see you walk away when I am finally unveiling the blueprints for your protection and your future. I have called you to this quiet moment not to entertain you, but to equip you, and it would be a profound tragedy for you to miss the sacred instructions I have prepared for the coming storm. Stay with me a little longer. Do not let the distractions of a dying world steal the life-giving words I am pouring into your soul. Your journey is only half complete, and I yearn for you to hear the rest of what I have written for you. My child, look around you at the world. It is shaking, isn't it? There is a lot of noise, a lot of fear, and a lot of talk about disasters and storms. But I want you to look at me. I am your hiding place. I am your shield and your very great reward. I am giving you a promise that you must carry in your spirit like a treasure. No weapon formed against you shall be able to prosper. Notice I didn't say the weapons wouldn't be formed. They might be shaped, they might be pointed at you, and they might even be fired, but they will not hit the mark. They will not succeed in destroying you because you are under my direct protection. Command your fears to go. You do not have to live in a state of red alert. I have stationed an angelic guard around your home, your children, and your workplace. You are not alone when you walk down a dark street or when you face a dark situation. My angels have been given charge over you to keep you in all your ways. You are walking under the shadow of my almighty wings, and there is no predator that can reach you there. When the world is panicking over bad news, you can sleep in peace because you know your provider is awake. Invite my peace to guard your heart and your mind. This is the peace that surpasses all understanding. It's the kind of calm that makes people look at you and wonder how you're still standing. You are standing because I am holding you up. You are going to walk through the fires of this life, the financial fires, the health scares, the emotional trials, and you are going to come out without even the smell of smoke on your clothes. I'm making you fireproof. The things that consume others will only refine you. Do not be afraid of sudden disasters or the what-ifs of tomorrow. My covenant with you is an insurance policy that never expires and has no loopholes. I am your fortress. When the winds howl, I am your anchor. When the earth shakes, I am your rock. I want you to practice fearless living. What would you do today if you knew you couldn't fail and you couldn't be harmed? Do that. Speak that. I am backing you up. You are an anointed one, and I have put a touch not sign on your life. Rest in the certainty of my presence. I am not a fair weather God. I am with you in the middle of a gale. I am the one who speaks to the waves and tells them to be still, but I am also the one who gives you the strength to walk on the water. You are secure. You are watched over. You are deeply, profoundly safe. Let this truth sink deep into your bones. You are protected by the King of Kings, and no power on earth or in hell can snatch you out of my hand. My child, I want you to take a deep, steadying breath and let the tension leave your shoulders, because I am taking over the battles you were never meant to fight. I have seen the way people have treated you. I have seen the traps laid in secret, the whispers behind your back, and the way some have tried to use your kindness as a weakness. I have watched those who have dug pits for you, hoping to see you fall and stay down. But I am here to tell you that it is a fearful thing for anyone to fall into the hands of the living God when they have set themselves against one of my own. You are my anointed, and I am issuing a final warning to every force, human or spiritual, that has been trying to hold you back. I am commanding the enemy right now. Let my people go. I want you to understand that I am a father who is fiercely protective of his children. When someone touches you, they are touching the apple of my eye. I have been patient, giving them space to turn away from their malice, but my patience is not a license for them to continue hurting you. There are consequences for those who touch my anointed ones. I am turning the very pit they dug for you into their own snare. The things they planned for your downfall will become the platform for your promotion. You don't need to plot revenge. You don't need to stay up late thinking of the perfect thing to say to shut them down. I am your defense. Vengeance is mine. I will repay, says the Lord. I want you to hand me the list of names and the list of wrongs and watch how I handle the courtroom of your life. Command your heart to stop seeking vindication from the world. You do not need an apology from someone to be whole. I move you from the position of the victim to the position of the victor. A victim looks at the past and asks why. A victor looks at me and asks what's next. I am closing the mouths of the lions that have been roaring at you. Just like I shut the mouths of the lions for Daniel, I am creating a divine gag order on those who speak against you. Their words will lose their weight. Their influence over your life is being dissolved. I am stripping them of the power they thought they had over your joy. You are going to walk through the crowd of your accusers, and they will have nothing to say, because my favor will be so visible on you that it will silence every critic. Invite my boldness to rise up within you. You are not a doormat. You are a dynasty in the making. I am reinforcing your boundaries and giving you the wisdom to know who belongs at your table and who belongs at the gate. I am removing the toxic influences that have been draining your energy and making you doubt your worth. I am your shield, and I am your very great reward. While I am dealing with your oppressors, I want you to focus on the harvest I am putting in your hands. Do not look back at the people who left or the ones who tried to break you. They are part of a closed chapter. I promise you that you will see my justice. You will see things made right in a way that is far better than anything you could have orchestrated. I am shifting the power balance. Those who thought they could control your destiny are finding out that I am the only one who holds the keys. You are free. You are safe. You are vindicated. Stand still today and see the salvation of the Lord. You won't have to lift a finger in this fight. The battle is mine, and the victory is already yours. My child, I want you to open your hands and prepare your heart, because I am about to do something that defies the logic of the world you live in. You have been looking at your bank account, your resources, and your opportunities through the lens of not enough. You have been conditioned to believe that you have to scrape and crawl for every bit of progress. But I am the God of the overflow. I am unlocking the windows of heaven over your life right now, and I am preparing an outpouring of blessings that you will not have room to receive. This is not just about money, though I will provide that. It is about a flood of favor, ideas, and peace that will wash away the memory of every season of lack. Command your mind to stop thinking in terms of scarcity. I am the God who fed 5,000 with a few loaves and fish. I am the God who brought water from a rock. Why are you worried about how the math ends up? I am the creator of the math. I am bringing you into a season of supernatural provision. I am going to cause resources to find you. You will receive phone calls you didn't expect. You will find favor with people you haven't even met yet. I am aligning your heart with the flow of my divine favor. When you are in alignment with me, you don't have to chase the blessing. The blessing chases you. I am opening doors for you today that no man can shut. No matter how much someone tries to block you, if I have opened the door, it stays open. Invite my creative spirit to flood your thoughts. I am releasing heavenly strategies and creative ideas into your mind. I am giving you the $1 million idea, the solution to the problem at work, and the wisdom to manage what you already have so that it multiplies. I am the one who gives you the power to get wealth, and I am doing it so that you can be a conduit of my love to the world. You are not just blessed to be comfortable. You are blessed to be a blessing. I want you to see your needs met before you even ask. I am a Father who knows what you need before the prayer even leaves your lips, and I am already sending the answer. Recognize that the windows of heaven mean that my perspective is being given to you. You will start to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You will see a way out where others see a dead end. I am breaking the spirit of poverty off your house. Poverty isn't just a lack of money. It's a way of thinking that says it's never going to get better. I am shattering that lie. It is getting better. It is getting brighter. I am pouring out my spirit on your household, bringing peace where there was conflict and joy where there was heaviness. I promise you that you will be a testimony of my goodness. People will look at your life and know that it wasn't just hard work or luck. It was the hand of God. I am making you a river, not a reservoir. As I pour into you, you will find it easy to pour into others. You are entering a season of more than enough. Your cup is not just full, it is running over. Trust me with your future. I am not a God of stinginess. I am a God of abundance, and I have chosen this hour to lavish my favor upon you. Receive it now with a grateful heart. My beloved child, come close to me. I want to touch the places you've kept hidden from everyone else. I see the scars that don't show on the outside. I see the parts of your heart that feel bruised and tender. The places where disappointment has left a dull ache that won't go away. You've been so strong for everyone else. You've put on the brave face. You've done the work. And you've carried the burdens. but I see the secret tears you shed in the shower or late at night when the house is still. I want you to know that I have validated every single tear. Not one of them was lost on me. I was there when your heart broke, and I am here now to bind up those wounds. Command your soul to let down its guard. You don't have to be fine when you are with me. I am the God who is close to the crushed in spirit. I am not looking for a polished version of you. I am looking for the real you. I am applying the oil of joy for your spirit of mourning. I am taking away that heavy garment of grief and replacing it with a garment of praise. Do you feel the lightness? That is my healing hand at work. I am reaching into the memories that haunt you, the words that were said, the people who walked away, the dreams that died, and I am breathing life back into your spirit. I am bringing psychological and spiritual wholeness to you today. Invite my peace to settle into the cracks of your brokenness. I'm a master at taking shattered pieces and creating a masterpiece. Your pain has not disqualified you. It has prepared you to be an instrument of my comfort for others. But first, let me comfort you. I am healing the wounds of your childhood, the wounds of past relationships, and even the wounds you inflicted on yourself through regret. I have forgiven you, and now I am asking you to forgive yourself. I am wiping the slate of your heart clean. You are not your past. You are not your trauma. You are my child, and you are whole in my sight. I am replacing your heavy heart with a spirit of expectation. For a long time, you've been waiting for the other shoe to drop, expecting things to go wrong because they always have. I am breaking the cycle of learned sorrow. I am teaching you how to hope again. I am putting a new song in your mouth. You are going to wake up with a sense of peace that you haven't felt in years. I am the one who restores your soul. I don't just patch you up. I make you new. The places where you were broken will become the places where you are strongest. I promise you that the sun is rising on a new day for your emotions. You are coming out of the shadows of depression and the fog of anxiety. I am your hiding place, but I am also your healer. Rest in my arms today and feel my love wrapping around you like a warm blanket. You are safe here. You are loved here. You are being healed here. I am binding your wounds with the silk of my grace, and I am making you stronger than you ever were before. Trust me with your heart. It is in the best possible hands. My child, look at me and see the light of a new dawn. I am holding a pen, and I am turning the page for you. I want you to know that as of this moment, I am wiping the slate clean of every past mistake, every if only, and every I should have. The old you is gone, and the new you is emerging. I am giving you a fresh start that my grace provides this very day. You don't have to carry the baggage of yesterday into the territory of tomorrow. I am setting a new course for your life's purpose, and it is going to be far greater than anything you've seen before. Do not look back at the wreckage behind you. It has no power over the path in front of you. Command the old things to pass away. I am doing a new thing in your life right now. Can you perceive it? It's a stirring in your spirit, a new hunger for more of me, and a boldness that you didn't have before. I am empowering you with a spirit of boldness and power. You are no longer going to shrink back in fear or hide in the shadows of not good enough. I am calling you to step out into the center of my will. I am giving you a mandate to lead, to create, to build, and to love with a depth that will surprise even you. Your latter days will be greater than your former days. This is not just a hope, it is a promise. Invite my spirit to show you the vision I have for your future. I don't want you to just survive. I want you to dominate the sphere of influence I've given you. Whether it's in your home, your office, or your community, you are a light bearer. I am giving you a fresh fire for your dreams. The things you thought were dead, the business you wanted to start, the book you wanted to write, the ministry you felt called to. I am breathing resurrection life into them. This is your go season. I am the wind in your sails, and I am the ground beneath your feet. Recognize that this new beginning requires a new way of thinking. You cannot put new wine into old wineskins. I am expanding your capacity to believe me for the impossible. I am taking off the limits you placed on yourself. I am a big God, and I have a big life plan for you. Embrace the change. Don't be afraid of the new just because it's unfamiliar. I am with you in the unknown. I am the architect of this new season, and I have designed every detail for your good and my glory. You are entering a time of rapid acceleration. I promise you that you will not fail in this new chapter. Why? Because I am the one writing it. I have equipped you with everything you need. I have given you the talent, the timing, and the temperament to succeed. You are moving from a place of trying to a place of becoming. You are becoming the person I always knew you were. This is your mandate. This is your moment. Walk out of the grave of your past and into the sunshine of your future. I am doing something wonderful, and you are right in the middle of it. Pause and consider the weight of this moment. I am speaking, and I am speaking to you. It would disappoint me deeply if you allowed the enemy to whisper that you have heard enough, for the most vital revelations of your strength are yet to be spoken. To stop now would be to leave the door to your new beginning half-latched, vulnerable to the winds of your past. I have so much more to reveal about the power I have placed in your hands. Do not abandon this divine conversation before I have finished making you whole. Listen closely, for my heart is heavy with the desire to see you fully empowered. My child, as I wipe your slate clean and set you upon this new course, understand that a fresh start requires a firm foundation in the Spirit. I have just declared that your old cycles have been broken, and now I am calling you to become a pillar of this mission, ensuring that my word reaches every corner of the earth. I have placed a desire in your heart to see others walk in this same freedom, and you can fulfill that divine appointment by supporting this channel through a super thanks or the link in my description. When you sow into this fertile ground, you are not just giving. You are planting seeds of light that will dispel the darkness for a soul currently lost in the shadows. I promise to multiply your seed and cause my favor to chase you down as you help me carry this bread to the hungry. I am opening the windows of heaven over your obedience, just as I am opening the doors to your new beginning. Step into this partnership now and watch how I honor your sacrifice with supernatural increase. My child, I see how tired you are. I see the way you've been dragging your feet, trying to keep up with the demands of a world that never stops asking for more. You've been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, trying to solve every problem, fix every person, and manage every crisis. I am here to tell you, drop the weight. You were never meant to be the engine. You were meant to be the passenger. I am your source. I am the one who keeps the world spinning, and I am more than capable of handling your life without you burning out. I am providing rest for you right now, real, deep, soul-level rest. Command your body and your mind to enter my Sabbath. I am renewing your strength today so that you can soar like an eagle. An eagle doesn't flap its wings in a panic. It catches the wind and glides. I want you to learn how to glide on the wind of my spirit. I am infusing your spirit with my divine stamina. You aren't just going to get through this. You are going to finish your race well. I am taking away the exhaustion that comes from striving and replacing it with the easy yoke and the light burden. My way is not heavy. If it's feeling heavy, it's because you're carrying things I never gave you. Give them back to me. Invite me into your schedule and your to-do list. I am giving you the supernatural energy to do what you are called to do, and the grace to let go of what you aren't. You don't have to please everyone. You only need to please me. I am your resting place. When you feel the walls closing in, I want you to stop and breathe in my name. I am your oxygen. I am the one who restores your soul. I am giving you sleep of the beloved, the kind of rest where you wake up truly refreshed, knowing that I worked while you slept. Recognize that your strength is not found in your willpower. It is found in your surrender. When you are weak, that is when my strength is made perfect in you. Stop trying to be strong for me and let me be strong for you. I am your fortress and your high tower. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to prove yourself. You just have to be with me. I am taking the burnout out of your bones and putting my fire back in your heart. You are going to run and not grow weary. You are going to walk and not faint. I promise you that you will have more than enough energy for the tasks ahead. I am the God who provides manna for the day, and that includes the mental and emotional energy you need. Trust me to sustain you. You are not a machine. You are my child. I care about your rest as much as I care about your work. Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Not just a nap, but a transformation. I am making you vibrant again. I'm making you alive again. Rest in me and watch how I move. My child, I want to invite you into a deeper level of intimacy, but to get there, we must look at the things that have taken my place in your heart. I am talking about the false altars you have built, the idols of comfort, the pursuit of human approval, and the hidden addictions that you turn to when life gets too heavy to bear. You have been trying to fill a God-sized hole with things that were never meant to sustain you. I see the way you scroll through your phone for hours, looking for a hit of dopamine to numb the loneliness, or the way you work yourself to exhaustion just to prove your worth to people who don't even truly know you. These are false altars, and they are hindering your breakthrough. I am calling you today to tear them down, not because I am a jealous tyrant, but because I am a loving Father who knows that these things are stealing your peace and your purpose. Command your heart to be honest with me right now. What is the one thing you are afraid to lose? What is the one thing you reach for before you reach for me? I am here to help you purify your heart. I want you to choose my will over the distractions of the world. The world offers you a cheap imitation of satisfaction, but I offer you the real thing. I am the living water, and once you drink from me, you will never thirst for the approval of man again. I am sending the fire of my Spirit to consume everything in your life that is not of me. Let the fire burn away the wood, hay, and stubble of your own striving. Let it melt the golden calves of your ego and your pride. This process might feel uncomfortable, but it is the most liberating thing you will ever experience. You are being refined, not destroyed. Invite me to be the sole foundation of your life. When you build on the rock of ages, the storms can howl and the floods can rise, but you will remain standing. A life built on false altars is a life built on sand. It will always shift when the pressure is on. I'm establishing a foundation in you that is unshakable. I want you to walk in total consecration and holy devotion, where your first thought in the morning is, Lord, what is on your heart today? Instead of how am I going to survive today? I am calling you to a higher standard because I have a higher calling for you. You cannot carry the weight of my glory if you are still carrying the baggage of your idols. Recognize the freedom that comes with surrender. When you tear down a false altar, you aren't losing something, you are making room for something better. You are making room for my peace, my joy, and my divine direction. I am replacing your anxiety with my assurance. I am replacing your need for control with a deep trust in my sovereignty. You don't have to keep up appearances anymore. You don't have to perform for me. I love you exactly as you are, but I love you too much to let you stay stuck in cycles that are beneath your dignity as my child. This is a holy moment of transition. I promise you that as you clear the clutter from your spiritual life, you will hear my voice with a clarity you've never known. The static of the world will fade, and my whisper will become the dominant sound in your soul. You are moving into a season of total devotion. I am marking you as mine in a way that the world will notice. They will see a peace on you that doesn't make sense, and a strength in you that isn't your own. It starts here, at the foot of the true altar. Give me everything, and watch how I give you back a life that is truly worth living. My precious child, do you realize the cosmic weight of your obedience? Every time you say yes to me, even when it's a small, quiet yes in the middle of a difficult day, you are triggering a chain reaction in the spiritual realm that you cannot see with your natural eyes. Your yes is a key. It is the key that unlocks the next door of your destiny. It is the key that breaks the legal right of the enemy to harass you. You have spent so much time wondering why things aren't moving, but I am telling you that I have been waiting for your total surrender. I don't want a partial yes or a yes, but I want a yes, Lord, whatever you say. This level of yielding your will to mine is where the greatest power in the universe is found. Command your fears to step aside so that your obedience can take center stage. You often hesitate to say yes because you are worried about the cost. You think about what you might have to give up or the people who might not understand your path. But I want you to think about the cost of your no. Your no keeps you in the wilderness. Your yes brings you into the promised land. Your yes is what partners your spirit with my spirit to see my kingdom come in your family, your workplace, and your city. You are not just a spectator in my plan. You are a co-laborer. When you say yes to my instructions, you are giving me permission to move through you with signs, wonders, and miracles. Invite the Holy Spirit to strengthen your resolve. There will be moments when your yes feels lonely. There will be moments when it feels like you are walking in the opposite direction of everyone else. But I am the rewarder of those who seek me with their whole heart. The rewards of a life lived in surrender are not just found in the future. They are found in the here and now. You will find a joy that is independent of your circumstances. You will find a confidence that isn't shaken by the news or the opinions of others. Your yes to me is a no to the spirit of fear and a no to the spirit of this age. Recognize the fruit that is beginning to grow from your surrender. I am the gardener of your soul, and I am looking for a harvest of righteousness. When you yield to me, you are allowing me to prune away the dead branches so that new life can burst forth. You are going to see the fruit of your obedience in the way your children speak, in the way your business grows, and in the way your health improves. I am not a God who takes and gives nothing in return. I am a God who multiplies everything that is placed in my hands. Your life is a seed. When you plant it in the soil of my will, the harvest will be more than you can imagine. I promise you that I will never lead you into a place where my grace cannot sustain you. Your yes might take you to difficult places, but it will never take you to a place where I am not already standing. I am your rear guard and your vanguard. I am the one who goes before you and the one who follows behind. Trust me with the outcome. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You just need to trust the one who built it. This is your moment to fully partner with the divine. Say yes today and watch the heavens open over your life. My child, I see the fog you've been walking through. I see the way you've been second-guessing every decision, feeling like you're trapped in a maze with no exit. You've been asking, what should I do? And which way should I go? Until your mind is exhausted from the circular thinking. I am here today to lift the veil of confusion from your eyes. I am the God of clarity, not of chaos. I am not the author of confusion, and I never intended for you to live in a state of constant uncertainty. I am granting you absolute clarity in this very moment. I am turning on the light in the room of your mind, and the shadows that looked like monsters are being revealed for what they truly are: nothing. Command the spirit of confusion to leave your presence. It has no authority over the mind of Christ, which I have given to you. I am providing the light of my word to illuminate your path. You don't need to see 10 miles down the road. You just need to see the next step, and I am making that step crystal clear. I am teaching you how to discern my voice among 1,000 other competing voices. The world is full of shoulds and musts, but my voice is a still, small whisper that brings peace even in the middle of a storm. Listen for the inner witness of my spirit. If there is no peace, it is not from me. If there is a frantic urgency that makes you feel panicked, it is not from me. My leading is firm, gentle, and clear. Invite my eternal perspective to settle into your heart. You have been looking at your circumstances through the lens of time, but I want you to look at them through the lens of eternity. When you see your life from my throne, the mountain of your problem looks like a grain of sand. I am ending the season of you second-guessing the direction of your life. You are not a mistake, and your path is not an accident. I have orchestrated every detail. Even the delays were divine. Even the no's were for your protection. You are exactly where you need to be to receive what I am about to give you. Recognize the peace that comes with knowing the way, the truth, and the life. You don't have to figure out the way because I am the way. You don't have to search for the truth because I am the truth. When you are with me, you are always on the right track. I am removing the mental static caused by the opinions of others and the pressures of society. I am giving you a laser focus on the purpose I have for you. You will find yourself knowing things you didn't learn and understanding things that were once hidden. This is the gift of divine insight. I promise you that you will not stumble. I am holding your hand, and I am a sure-footed guide. I am clearing away the smoke and mirrors that the enemy has used to keep you paralyzed. You are going to move forward with a confidence that surprises those around you. They will ask, "How do you know what to do?" And you will simply say, "My Father told me." Rest in this clarity today. Breathe out the maybe and breathe in the I am. You are no longer lost. You are being led. My child, I am calling you out of the shallows and into the deep. I am calling you to a radical faith that moves beyond what you can see with your natural eyes. You have been living based on what is logical, what is possible, and what the experts say. But I am the God of the impossible, and I am asking you to trust me when the math doesn't add up and the report doesn't look good. Faith is not just a feeling. It is the substance of the things you have been hoping for and the evidence of things you haven't seen yet. I am asking you to step out of the boat of your comfort zone and onto the water of my promises. If you keep your eyes on the waves, you will sink. But if you keep your eyes on me, you will walk on the very thing that tried to drown you. Command your soul to stop being intimidated by the facts. Facts are subject to change, but my truth is eternal. The fact may be that you are broke, but the truth is that I am your provider. The fact may be that you are sick, but the truth is that by my stripes you are healed. I want you to speak to your mountains with the authority of someone who knows the mountain mover. Why are you whispering to the mountain and complaining to me? I am telling you to speak to the mountain and tell it to be cast into the sea. Pleasing my heart happens when you trust me without needing a sign. Your unwavering trust is a fragrance that fills the halls of heaven. Invite a spirit of holy boldness to take over your life. Radical faith means doing what I say even when it seems foolish to the world. It means sowing a seed when you're in a famine. It means praising me before the walls of Jericho even move. I am looking for someone who will dare to believe that I am as good as I say I am. Are you that person? I am ready to show myself strong on your behalf, but I need a landing strip of faith to come down on. I want you to start acting like the prayer is already answered. Start preparing for the harvest you've been asking for. If you're praying for rain, go out and dig some ditches. Recognize that your faith is a muscle that grows under pressure. The trials you've endured weren't meant to break your faith, they were meant to build it. You now have the spiritual weight to carry the heavy blessings I am bringing. Do not be afraid of the size of your dream. If your dream doesn't scare you, it's probably not from me. I want to do something in your life that is so big, only I can get the credit for it. I am moving you beyond survival faith and into kingdom-conquering faith. I promise you that I will never let you down. You might feel the wind and the spray of the salt water, but you will not sink. I am right here. I am the anchor that holds, but I am also the power that propels you forward. Your radical faith is moving the hand of God right now. You are going to see things happen suddenly because you dared to believe. You are crossing the line from a believer to a receiver. Stand firm, keep your eyes locked on mine, and take that next step. The water is solid beneath your feet because my word is supporting you. Beloved, my spirit is stirred by your presence here, but the most critical part of our encounter is still ahead. It would be a sorrowful thing if you reached this point of radical faith only to retreat before I can show you how to manage the harvest of your life. Do not grieve me by choosing the mundane over the miraculous simply because you are tired. I am infusing you with my own stamina right now. So lean into my voice and refuse to let go of this connection. We are entering the deepest waters of my wisdom. Do not stay on the shore when I am calling you into the depths of my protection and provision. My child, I want you to stop checking the clock and start checking your heart. You have been so worried about being behind or late in life. You see others moving ahead, and you feel like you're stuck in a waiting room. I am here to tell you that you are exactly where you need to be for my glory to be revealed. I am the master orchestrator, and I am working behind the scenes on things you cannot even imagine. I am arranging divine appointments, the right people, the right conversations, and the right opportunities that are going to appear in your schedule as suddenlies. You cannot force my timing, but you can trust it. Not a moment too late, and not a moment too early. I am always on time. Command your spirit to rest in the perfection of my calendar. I'm the one who opens doors, and I am the one who closes them. If a door hasn't opened yet, it's because the room on the other side isn't ready for you, or you aren't ready for the room. I am protecting you from a success that would destroy you if it came too soon. I am maturing you in the waiting. I am building your character so that when you arrive at your destination, you have the stamina to stay there. Trust the delays. They aren't denials. They are preparations. I am moving the pieces on the chessboard of your life to ensure your total victory. Invite me into your daily routine. I want you to be sensitive to the interruptions in your day. Sometimes my greatest work happens in the things that weren't on your to-do list. That person who accidentally bumps into you. That could be a destiny helper. That random email. That could be the answer to a prayer you prayed 3 years ago. I am orchestrating the events of your life with surgical precision. You don't need to hustle and grind to make things happen. When it's my time, it will be effortless. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time doing the right thing with the right people. Recognize the signs of a shifting season. The atmosphere around you is changing. The waiting room feeling is starting to lift. You are about to walk into a series of events that will feel like a whirlwind of favor. I am connecting you with people who have the keys you need, and I am giving you the favor to gain access to places you once thought were off limits. I am the God of the Kairos moment, the appointed time. This is your Kairos season. Everything you have been through, the pain, the training, the hidden years, is converging into this moment. I promise you that none of your time has been wasted. I am the God who redeems time. I can make up for 10 years of loss in 10 days of favor. Rest in the certainty that I have not forgotten you. Your name is etched on the palm of my hand, and your destiny is my priority. Stop striving to make it happen and start abiding so I can make it happen. I am your Father, and I love giving good gifts to my children. Your appointment with destiny is already on my books, and I am leading you to it by the hand. My child, I want you to stand up straight and lift your chin, because the days of you living in the shadows of not good enough are over. I am calling you to take your rightful place as a child of the Most High God. You were not created to be a victim of your circumstances or a doormat for the world's opinions. I have placed within you a spirit of power, of love, and of a sound mind. You have the DNA of the Creator flowing through your spiritual veins. It is time for you to stop asking for permission to exist and start exercising the power of the keys to the kingdom that I have placed in your hands. I have given you the authority to bind and to loose, to open and to shut, and to declare my will over the earth. When you speak in my name, aligned with my heart, the heavens pay attention and the earth must respond. Command every spirit of fear that has been paralyzing you to leave right now. Fear is a liar that tries to make you forget who your Father is. I want you to stand firm against the schemes of the darkness that have tried to convince you that you are weak. You are not weak, you are hidden in me. I am giving you a holy boldness, the kind of boldness that makes you walk into a room and change the atmosphere just by being there. You don't need to shout to be heard. You carry a quiet authority that comes from knowing exactly who you are in my sight. Invite my perfect love to wash over you, for perfect love casts out all fear. When you know how deeply I love you, you realize that there is nothing on this planet that can truly harm your soul. You are untouchable in the secret place of my presence. Speak to your obstacles with the authority of my name. Stop talking about your problems and start talking to them. If there is a mountain in your way, don't just describe how big it is. Tell it to move. If there is a storm in your life, don't just complain about the rain. Command the wind to be still. I have given you the legal right to use my name to establish peace in your home, health in your body, and order in your mind. This isn't about your own strength or your own goodness. It's about the name that is above every name. When you use that name, you aren't just making a wish, you are issuing a divine decree. I am backing you up with the full weight of the heavenly host. Recognize that your authority is not a suggestion, it is a mandate. I have called you to be the head and not the tail, to be above only and not beneath. This doesn't mean you are better than others, but it means you are an ambassador of a higher kingdom. Act like it. Dress your mind in the armor of God. Protect your peace with the shield of faith. I am making you a pillar of strength for those around you who are still shaking. You are going to lead people to freedom because you have found it yourself. You are walking in a new level of confidence that is rooted in the rock of ages. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment, you shall condemn. I promise you that as you step into this authority, the path will become clearer. The things that used to intimidate you will start to look small. You are growing into the warrior I called you to be. You have the heart of a lion because the Lion of Judah lives inside of you. Do not shrink back. Do not apologize for the light I have put in you. Shine brightly, speak boldly, and walk with the stride of someone who knows their Father owns the universe. You are my child, my heir, and my representative on this earth. Walk in your power today. My beloved child, I want to talk to you about the heavy weight of financial worry that has been stealing your sleep and your joy. I see the bills on the table, the math that doesn't quite work out, and the constant pressure of trying to make ends meet in a world that keeps getting more expensive. I want you to hear me clearly. I am breaking the spirit of poverty and lack over your house today. I am not just a God of spiritual things. I am the God of your provision. I am your source. I am the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills and all the silver and gold. I am moving in your finances to bring a breakthrough that defies the logic of the world's economy. I am the God of the fish with a coin, the God of supernatural supply that appears exactly when and where you need it. Command the spirit of not enough to leave your thinking. I am shifting your mindset from a reservoir of scarcity to a river of abundance. You have been holding on so tightly to what you have because you're afraid it's the last of it. I want you to open your hands. I am giving you wisdom for stewardship and the management of wealth. I am going to show you how to plant seeds that grow into harvests. I am releasing resources into your life not just so you can be comfortable, but so you can be a conduit for the gospel. I want you to be so blessed that you can give without thinking twice, knowing that my supply line to you is never ending. I am canceling the debts that have been a chain around your neck. Watch for the miracles, the unexpected checks, the debts forgiven, the sudden promotions. Invite my divine favor into your career and your business. I am the one who gives you the power to get wealth, and I am doing it to establish my covenant on the earth. I am going to give you creative ideas that generate income. I am going to open doors to rooms where the shakers and movers sit, and I am going to give you favor in their eyes. You don't need to beg for a seat at the table when your Father built the table. I am your ultimate provider. If one stream dries up, I will open another. If a door closes, I will open a window. You are a child of the King, and the King's children do not go hungry. I am meeting all your needs according to my riches in glory. Recognize that your security is not in your paycheck or your pension. Your security is in me. When the world's markets shake, you will remain steady. When the economy dips, you will continue to rise because you are living in a different kingdom. I am protecting your resources from the devourer. I am making your little go a long way, and I am turning your much into a legacy. You are walking into a life of generosity and freedom. The days of you being a slave to the lender are coming to an end. I am giving you a Goshen experience, where there is light and plenty in your house even when there is darkness and famine in the world around you. I promise you that I have seen your faithfulness. I have seen the way you've tried to be generous even when you had very little. I am rewarding that heart. I am pouring out a blessing that you will not have room to contain. You will be the lender and not the borrower. You will be the one people come to for help, and you will have the joy of pointing them to the God who provides. Take a deep breath and let the stress of how go. I am the how. I am your Father, and I take great pleasure in the prosperity of my servants. Your breakthrough is here. My child, I want to do a deep work in the circle of people around you. I know you have felt the sting of betrayal and the loneliness of being misunderstood by those you thought would always be there. I am the one who is currently rearranging your relationships. I am removing those who are meant to be a seasonal connection but have tried to stay for a lifetime. If people have walked away from you lately, do not chase them. Do not beg them to stay. If they are gone, it is because I have removed them to protect your destiny. I am clearing the weeds from your garden so that the fruit of my Spirit can grow without being choked by toxic influences. I am bringing godly counsel and destiny helpers into your circle, people who will see the gold in you and help you bring it out. Command your heart to forgive those who have hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Bitterness is a poison you drink hoping someone else will die. I want you to pour it out today. I am healing the rifts within your family, and your household. I am the God of reconciliation. I am turning the heights of the fathers to the children and the children to the fathers. I am breathing life into marriages that have grown cold and distant. I am teaching you how to love as I have loved you, with a love that is patient, kind, and doesn't keep a record of wrongs. I am setting a new standard for your relationships, where honor and respect are the foundation. Invite my discernment to show you who to trust. Not everyone who smiles at you is for you, and not everyone who challenges you is against you. I am giving you the eyes to see the heart behind the face. I am bringing destiny helpers into your life, people who are assigned by me to open doors for you and to pray you through your dark nights. You don't need 1,000 friends. You need a few who are connected to my spirit. I am building a spiritual community and fellowship around you that will sharpen you and strengthen you. You were never meant to walk this path alone. I am placing you in a family of believers where you can be known and loved for who you truly are. Recognize that your primary relationship is with me, and every other connection must flow from that center. When you are right with me, it becomes much easier to be right with others. I am protecting your heart from toxic influences and people who only want to take without giving. I am giving you the courage to say no to relationships that drain your soul and yes to those that feed your spirit. I am sanctifying your tongue so that your words build up instead of tear down. Your home is becoming a sanctuary of peace. The arguments, the tension, and the cold wars are being replaced by the oil of my joy. I promise you that I am filling the empty seats at your table with people of substance. You will no longer feel like an outsider. I am giving you a tribe and a people. I am restoring what was lost in the years of isolation. You will experience the beauty of true, holy friendship. Your relationships will no longer be a source of stress, but a source of strength. Trust me with your social life. Trust me with your family. I am the architect of connection, and I am building something beautiful in your life. My precious child, I want you to look back at the scars you carry, but this time, don't look at them as signs of defeat. Look at them as proof that you survive. I want you to understand the why behind the trials you've endured. None of that pain was wasted. Not one night of crying, not one moment of feeling abandoned, and not one season of loss was outside of my plan to produce something magnificent in you. Your purpose is far greater than the pain you've been through. I am using your story to bring hope to the hopeless. You are becoming a living testimony that I can take the broken pieces of a life and create a masterpiece of grace and beauty. Your suffering is producing a weight of glory that you cannot yet see. Command your spirit to rise above the victim narrative. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what I am doing in you. I am anointing you to be an instrument of my peace in a broken world. Because you have known what it is to be hungry, you will feed others. Because you have known what it is to be lonely, you will be a friend to the friendless. Because you have known what it is to be broken, you will be a vessel of my healing. Your life is a masterpiece in progress. An artist doesn't finish a painting in a day, and I am not finished with you. Every stroke of the brush, even the dark ones, is necessary to create the final image. Trust the process. Trust the artist. Invite my spirit to reveal the calling on your life. You aren't just here to pay bills and die. You are here on a mission from the throne of heaven. I have given you unique talents, a unique voice, and a unique perspective that the world needs. I am anchoring your soul in my eternal mission. When you live for something bigger than yourself, your own problems start to look small. I am giving you a heart for the lost, the hurting, and the forgotten. As you reach out to help them, you will find that your own healing is completed. You are a light bearer in a world that is getting darker. Your purpose is the North Star that will lead you through any storm. Recognize that the enemy tried to use that pain to destroy you, but I am using it to deploy you. What was meant to be your end is becoming your beginning. I am giving you a second wind. You are going to run faster and further in this next season than you ever have before because you are running with purpose. You are no longer wandering. You are on a path that has been paved with my grace. I am turning your mess into your message. People will look at you and say, if God did it for them, He can do it for me. You are becoming a beacon of possibility. I promise you that the joy ahead of you is so great that it will swallow up the memory of the sorrow behind you. I am a God who makes all things work together for good for those who love me and are called according to my purpose. That includes the bad things. I am weaving them all into a tapestry that will take your breath away. Your life is significant. Your life matters. Your life is a part of my grand design. Stand tall in your purpose today, knowing that I am with you, I am for you, and I am working through you. You are so close to the finish line, my precious one. Do not let your heart grow weary in these final moments. It would be a loss beyond words if you turned back now, just as I am preparing to reveal the ultimate shield over your health and the final victory over your enemies. I have held nothing back from you, and I ask that you hold nothing back from me. Give me your full attention for these last few breaths of our time together. To walk away now would be to leave your armor incomplete. Stay, listen, and let me seal my promises into the very fabric of your being before the world calls you back. Your pain has been a heavy burden, but I am transforming it into a bridge for others to cross into my presence. Now that you have seen my hand moving to restore your purpose, I am inviting you to join me in the sacred work of healing a broken world through your generosity. I have ordained you to be a river, not a reservoir, and as you give via PayPal or through channel membership, you are fueling the fire that warms the hearts of the hopeless. Consider this your divine appointment to prove that your yes to me is absolute and that your heart is aligned with the harvest of souls. I will be your shield and your very great reward, ensuring that your own resources never run dry as you pour into my kingdom. No weapon formed against your finances shall prosper when you prioritize the spreading of my truth. Act with boldness today, and let your giving be the testimony that my word is the ultimate authority in your life. My child, I am sharpening your spiritual senses today. In a world full of noise, deception, and fake news, you need to be able to see through the masks and the hidden agendas. I am giving you the gift of divine discernment. This is not just gut instinct or being street smart. This is the Holy Spirit giving you a red light or a green light in your spirit. I am helping you to see people and situations as they truly are, not just as they appear to be. You are going to start noticing things that others miss. You will sense when someone's words don't match their heart. You will know when a great opportunity is actually a trap. I am protecting the pearl of great price within you by giving you the wisdom to know where to walk and who to walk with. Command your ears to be tuned to the frequency of the Holy Spirit. My sheep know my voice, and the voice of a stranger they will not follow. I'm teaching you the difference between my conviction and the enemy's condemnation. My voice brings peace even when it's correcting you. The enemy's voice brings panic and shame. I am giving you the wisdom to know when to speak and when to remain silent. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is hold your peace and let me fight the battle. I am helping you identify the wolves in sheep's clothing, those who come into your life looking like a blessing but are actually there to cause division. You will not be fooled. You are walking in the light of my truth. Invite my wisdom to lead you in every decision, from the smallest choice to the life-altering ones. Before you sign that contract, before you enter that relationship, before you make that move, ask me. I will give you a check in your spirit if it's not the right time or the right thing. I want you to be a person of depth and discernment. I am helping you to protect your energy and your time. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to explain yourself to everyone. I am giving you a holy guard over your heart. You are becoming a person of great insight, a person whose counsel others will seek because they can sense the Spirit of God on you. Recognize that discernment is a shield. It keeps you from unnecessary pain and wasted years. I am refining your spiritual palate so that you can taste what is good and what is bitter. You will no longer be easily swayed by the trends of the world or the pressures of the crowd. You are anchored in the Word. I am giving you eyes to see into the spiritual realm, to understand the roots of the problems you face. When you know the root, you can deal with the fruit. I am moving you from being a person who reacts to a person who responds with wisdom. This is the mark of spiritual maturity. I promise you that as you lean on me, you will never be led astray. I am the Spirit of truth, and my job is to lead you into all truth. You can trust the still, small voice inside of you. It is me, guiding you, protecting you, and showing you the way. You are going to walk with a new level of confidence, because you know that you are being led by the one who sees the end from the beginning. You are safe in my wisdom. You are secure in my truth. Walk in discernment today and let my light be your guide. My child, I want you to look at the world around you and breathe out the fear that has been trying to tighten its grip on your chest. You see the headlines. You hear the reports of sudden calamities, and you feel the ground of the global economy and peace shaking beneath your feet. But I am here to tell you that you live under a different set of laws, the laws of my kingdom. I am giving you my absolute promise. I will keep you safe from the arrow that flies by day and the pestilence that stalks in the darkness. You are not a victim of chance or a target of tragedy. I have placed a Goshen protection over your family, your home, and your property. Just as my people were safe and had light in their dwellings while darkness covered the rest of the land, you will have peace and security even when the world around you is in turmoil. Command your heart to remain steady when you hear bad news. You should not be afraid of evil tidings because your heart is fixed, trusting in the Lord. I am your hiding place, a fortress that no disaster can penetrate. I have set a hedge of protection around everything you own. When you go out and when you come in, my presence goes with you. I am the one who alerts you to the danger you cannot see. I am the whisper in your ear that says, "Go this way" or "Wait a moment." This is the immunity provided by my covenant with you. It is not based on your luck, it is based on my loyalty. I am committed to being your sanctuary. Even if 1,000 fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, it shall not come near you. Invite my presence to saturate the walls of your home. I want you to walk through your house today and dedicate every corner to me. I am the watchman who never sleeps. While you are resting, I am patrolling the borders of your life. I am frustrating the plans of those who mean you harm, and I am diverting the path of the storm. You are standing secure while the world shakes because your foundation is not built on the shifting sands of human security or government promises. Your foundation is me. I am the rock of ages, and I am unshakable. When you feel that sudden jolt of panic, I want you to immediately speak my name. My name is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe. Recognize that I have given my angels charge over you. They are not just figures in a book. They are active, powerful messengers assigned to your life. They are standing guard at your door and traveling with you on the road. I am protecting you from the sudden things, the accidents, the unexpected losses, the disasters that come out of nowhere. I am the God of the 91st Psalm, and I am making that promise a living reality in your everyday life. You can sleep soundly tonight. You can plan for tomorrow with hope. I have already seen your future, and I have secured the path to get you there safely. I promise you that I am your ultimate hiding place. In times of trouble, I will hide you in my pavilion. I am the shield that stops the fiery darts of the enemy. You are walking in a bubble of divine grace. This doesn't mean you won't see trouble in the world, but it means the trouble won't get into you. Your peace is protected. Your family is preserved. Your soul is secure. Trust in my commitment to you. I am a father who guards his children with a fierce and jealous love. You are safe in my hands, now and forever. My child, I want you to bring your body and your mind into the light of my healing presence. I see the pain you've been carrying in your joints, the fatigue that make your limbs heavy, and the fogginess that has clouded your thinking. I hear the silent cries you offer up when you look in the mirror and don't recognize the vibrant person you used to be. I am the Lord who heals you. I want you to understand that by my stripes, your healing has been secured. It is not something I am thinking about doing. It is something that was finished at the cross. I am speaking life over your bones today. I am speaking strength over your muscles and health over every organ in your body. I am the great physician, and my medicine is my word, which is life to those who find it and health to all their flesh. Command the spirit of infirmity to leave your body right now. You do not have to manage a sickness that I am willing to miracle away. I am breaking the chains of chronic pain and the cycles of recurring illness that have drained your energy and your finances. I am also reaching into the corridors of your mind. I am the one who restores your soul and your mental clarity. I am bringing a sound mind and a peaceful heart to you today. If you have been struggling with the darkness of depression or the constant vibration of anxiety, I am commanding those clouds to part. I am restoring your mind to the mind of Christ, a mind that is focused, calm, and filled with hope. Invite my resurrection power to flow through your bloodstream. I want you to start speaking to your body. Tell your heart to beat with the rhythm of my grace. Tell your cells to align with my original design for your DNA. I am the God who heals all your diseases, and I am not limited by a doctor's report or a pharmacy's reach. I am doing a work that is both physical and psychological. I am healing the trauma that has manifested as physical pain. I am binding the wounds of your past that have kept your nervous system in a state of constant fight or flight. Breathe deeply and feel my peace acting as a sedative for your soul and a tonic for your body. Recognize that you are a temple of the Holy Spirit. I have a vested interest in your health because you are my vessel on the earth. I am giving you the wisdom to take care of yourself. But I am also providing the supernatural touch that human medicine cannot offer. I am reversing the damage of the years. I am renewing your youth like the eagles. You are going to wake up with an energy that surprises you. You are going to find yourself doing things you thought were no longer possible for you. Believe in the God who makes the lame walk and the blind see. That same power is available to you in this very moment. I promise you that I am the restorer of your health. I'm taking away the spirit of heaviness and giving you a garment of praise. Your body is coming into alignment with the health of your spirit. Do not focus on the symptoms. Focus on the Savior. I am your life giver. I am the breath in your lungs and the strength in your step. You are moving from a state of surviving to a state of thriving. Receive my healing touch right now. Let it flow from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. You are being made whole. My child, look up and see that the fields are white and ready for reaping. You have spent much time in the planting season, sowing seeds in tears, praying for people who didn't listen, and investing your time into things that seemed to yield nothing. But I am the Lord of the harvest, and I am telling you that the time for gathering has arrived. You are about to see the fruit of your prayers. You are going to see people you've prayed for years suddenly turn their hearts toward me. You are going to see the resources you've invested in my kingdom return to you in a 30, 60, and 100-fold blessing. I am inviting you to step into your role in the great gathering of souls. This is the hour of urgency, but it is also the hour of great joy. Command your hands to be ready for work and your heart to be ready for wonder. I am giving you the joy of the reaper. There is no satisfaction like seeing a life transformed because you were willing to speak a word or offer a hand. I want you to start investing in things that have eternal significance. The world is obsessed with things that rust and rot, but I am calling you to build a legacy that will last forever. I am giving you the wisdom to recognize the divine moments when a person's heart is open. Don't be afraid to share my love. You don't need a sermon. You just need to share your story. Your testimony is a sickle that will harvest hearts for my kingdom. Invite me to show you where to cast your net. Sometimes you've been fishing on the wrong side of the boat, relying on your own logic and effort. I am telling you to cast into the deep. I am leading you to the unlikely people and the impossible situations. I am giving you a harvest of influence in your community. You are going to see my hand moving in your neighborhood and your workplace because you are there as my representative. This is not a season for spiritual laziness. I am calling you to a new level of focus. The time is short, and the mission is great. But you are not working alone. I am the one who brings the increase. Recognize the beauty of the call on your life. You were chosen for this specific time in history. You aren't here by accident. You were born for this harvest. I am giving you the reward of the faithful servant. As you focus on my business, I will focus on yours. As you seek first my kingdom, all the things you've been worried about, the provision, the protection, the peace, will be added to you automatically. You are moving from a scarcity mindset to a harvest mindset. There is plenty for everyone, and I have more than enough for you. I promise you that you will not labor in vain. Every seed you've sown, every prayer you've whispered, and every act of kindness you've performed has been recorded in the books of heaven. The harvest is going to be so large that the reaper will overtake the plowman. You will see things grow and ripen faster than you ever thought possible. This is the season of acceleration. Put on your work clothes and your shoes of peace. We are going into the field together, and the fruit of this season will be sweet beyond measure. Stay with me for these final words, for this is the seal upon our covenant. I would be deeply pained to see you rush back into the noise of the world before I have given you my final blessing and the assurance of my eternal presence. This last word is the anchor for your soul. Do not let the urgency of life rob you of the peace of my heart. Hear my final decree over you, for I am speaking it with a love that will never let you go. My precious beloved child, we have walked through many rooms of your heart today. We have spoken of battles, of healing, of provision, and of purpose. But as we come to this moment, I want to leave you with the most important truth of all, the anchor that will hold you when every other rope breaks. I am with you always. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. Even to the end of the age, and even into the depths of eternity, I am your God and you are my child. My presence is not a temporary feeling. It is an eternal reality. I am the seal upon your heart, and you are the treasure of my soul. You can rest now. You can stop the striving and the worrying, for the finished work of the cross has secured everything you will ever need. Command your soul to return to its rest. You don't have to wonder if I'm listening. You don't have to wonder if I care. I have proven my love for you on a hill called Calvary, and I am proving it again today in the quiet of this conversation. When the storms come back, and they will, remember this moment. Remember the sound of my voice. I am the one who walks on the waves to get to you. I am the one who stands in the fire with you. I am the one who goes into the lion's den to shut the mouths of your accusers. You are never, ever alone. My spirit is the very breath in your lungs, and my grace is the ground beneath your feet. Invite my peace to be the final word in your day. No matter what the world says, no matter what the enemy whispers, my word is the final authority over your destiny. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I have already seen the final chapter of your life, and let me tell you, it is a celebration. There is a feast being prepared for you in my kingdom. There is a crown of life waiting for you. But even before you get there, I am bringing my kingdom to you. I am making your life a heaven on earth experience as you learn to abide in me. Stand still today and see my salvation. You don't have to fight. You just have to believe. Recognize that my love for you is not based on your performance. It is based on my character. You can't make me love you more, and you can't make me love you less. You are accepted. You are wanted. You are enough because I am enough in you. I am your Father, your Savior, your friend, and your King. I am the shepherd who carries the lambs close to his heart. That is where you are right now, pressed against my heart, hearing the beat of my love for you. Let that rhythm steady your pulse and calm your mind. I promise you that I am your eternal assurance. I have put my spirit in you as a deposit, guaranteeing what is to come. Be encouraged. Be bold. Be at peace. The journey ahead is not one you take alone. I am holding your hand. When you are tired, I will carry you. When you are happy, I will rejoice with you. When you are uncertain, I will be your clarity. This is my final word to you for now. I love you. I am with you. I am for you. Go forward in my power and my peace, for you are more than a conqueror through me. My beloved, as we stand in the stillness of my final word, remember that my presence is a fire that must be shared with a world shivering in the cold. I have promised to be with you always, and now I am asking you to be my hands and my feet by supporting the reach of this divine message through super thanks with the links below. There are thousands who have not yet heard that I have said enough to their suffering, and your support is the oil that keeps the lamp of this ministry burning bright. When you honor me with your substance, you are storing up treasures where moth and rust cannot destroy, and you are securing a legacy that will echo into eternity. I am releasing the dew of heaven upon your household, bringing a harvest that defies the logic of men because you chose to be faithful to my call. Do not let this moment of conviction pass without action, for the time is short and the harvest is right. Go now to the description, lay your gift at my feet, and stand still to see the salvation and multiplication I have prepared for you. My child, as you step away from this moment, do not let this divine fire grow cold. Instead, fan it into a blaze by giving voice to your faith right now. I am waiting for you to stake your claim in the atmosphere, so command your soul to testify by declaring God said enough in the comments below. By typing these words, you are not merely interacting with a screen. You are releasing a prophetic decree that shatters every chain and signals to the heavens that your season of struggle has officially expired. Let this act of boldness be the first breath of your new life, for when you align your mouth with my word, the miraculous begins to move with unstoppable force. Do it now, my beloved, and watch as I transform your public declaration into a private reality of triumph and overflow. Amen.